Welcome to Mountain West Football on Facebook, presented by Stadium Live. Our matchup at Maverick Stadium has the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles searching for their first win, taking on the 1-1 Utah State Aggies. Hello everyone, Ari Wolf-Long, former star tailback at Notre Dame, Darius Walker. We're so glad to be with everybody. And how about Utah State? Picked 4th in the Mountain Division, and they've surprised some people. Almost got that upset win against Michigan State. Then they had the big win against New Mexico State. What are your thoughts early season on the Aggies?
Well, they've looked good, and I think you mentioned it. The preseason rankings are just that. It's just a gauge of a year ago, so there's no real way of knowing how good a team is going to be. But what has really impressed me about the Aggies are the 3 facets that Matt Wells always talks about. One is the special teams. We've heard all about Dominic Eberle and his historic night last week, but also Savon Scarver had a 100-yard kick return in that game. So the special teams is definitely clicking for the Aggies. On offense, Jordan Love has been really, really terrific so far through 2 games, so they're clicking well on the offensive side. And then on defense, they're 2nd in the country in creating turnovers. So all 3 facets, the Aggies have looked really good this year. I think the Mountain West is going to be surprised at how well the Aggies do come season end.
Now, the TCU transfer, Tipa Nalei, is coming off the edge, and he is getting to the quarterback.
In a hurry. He really is. Tipa Nalei has really been the guy who has been the spark plug for this defense, but it's because he has all of those tools, all the tangibles that you look for in a defensive end. He's 6'5", 230 pounds. He knows how to get to the quarterback, and he's relentless. But if you don't block him on the edge, this is what he can do. Free track to the quarterback, strip sack last week against New Mexico State. That really got the team going in the first quarter. So he's been electric and outstanding. Looking for him to have another big day today, because on the other side for Tennessee Tech, they got a true freshman quarterback, so they're going to need to put pressure on him if you're the Aggies.
And also for Tennessee Tech, they are decided underdogs tonight. They are going to need to win the time of possession battle. And one way to do that is have your running back have a good night. And they have a solid tailback in Andrew Goldsmith.
He's probably their most experienced player, especially on offense. He was the leading rusher from a year ago, has 117 yards, hasn't been able to get to the end zone today, but you mentioned it, Ari. Time of possession is going to be key for the Golden Eagles. They're going to have to keep the Utah State Aggies off of the field, especially on offense. So the way you do that is running the football, controlling the line of scrimmage. They want to slow this game down. If you're Tennessee Tech, the faster this game goes in terms of the time clock running down, because you're running the football so much, the better for you. They want to make this as short as possible.
Kristen is down on the field with a special guest.
Coach, I know that you guys do really well on short weeks, 8-1. How do you feel the preparation went this week?
I think it's been good, but we'll find out what it was tonight.
Huge game for you guys on Saturday night in all 3 phases. What's the key to making sure that momentum continues here tonight?
We got to win the turnover margin, and I think we got to play great on special teams.
Thank you so much, Coach. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Kristen. We're just about set for the start of this one. We want you to join the conversation on Facebook. You can also post your pictures on Instagram, hashtag TTUVSUSU. We want to see where you're watching the game, who you're watching it with, and we want to see how much fun you're having watching the game.
Well, I can certainly tell you, we're having a lot of fun up here in the booth. The renovations at Maverick Stadium have turned out really good. It's my first time coming since all the new additions. I like it. Impressive.
It's very nice. It's an impressive booth. We got a perfect view of Merlin Olsen Field. Utah State won the toss, and they've decided to take the football. Savon Scarver will be deep for the Aggies. And again, last week he had a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So he is a threat. Haydar Zaydan will kick things off. There he is, number 93, junior. He's going to like how the ball travels up here at this elevation. He's going to feel real good about his leg.
It will certainly help it go a little bit further.
And that is
not uncommon for us to see a lot of touchbacks here in this stadium for sure.
And something else to keep our eye on is just the conditioning, because it is higher elevation. So we'll see when we get into the 3rd and 4th quarter if we see any fatigue from the Golden Eagles.
Especially with the teams that they play, they never have to really travel this far on a basis in terms of trips each year. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play early, but even more importantly in the 4th quarter.
Here we go. Underway at Maverick Stadium, and strong kick. And it'll be a touchback. And we get our first look at sophomore quarterback Jordan Love. Love his size, 6'4", 225 pounds, from Bakersfield, California. completing more than 60% of his passes. He'd like to have a few more touchdown passes. But they looked really good on Saturday, and the week prior at Michigan State, they looked like they could play with anyone in the country. Gerald Bright is the tailback, coming off a career-high 134 yards against New Mexico State. Love to throw on first down. It's Dax Raymond. And the ball comes out, and it's recovered by Tennessee Tech. What a break early for the Golden Eagles.
And it certainly happened to a guy that you don't expect it to happen from. Dax Raymond is their leading wide receiver. Does a nice job on his out route here. Jake Warwick, the Sam linebacker for the Eagles, comes in and strips this out. Loses the football here. Now, as always, with fumbles, the refs are going to take another look at this. The officials are going to take another look. But from our vantage point here, as we take another look, that ball looks out of there. Fumble. That is an excellent tracking job by Jake Warwick there to get back into the play.
Shannon Fain came in. See there, number 14. I think he's the one who started to get the ball loose. He might have got his hat on just on the inside tip of the football there. But what a start.
For the Golden Eagles, especially here, when you're in a hostile environment and you're a team that's a big underdog like the Golden Eagles are today, the one way that you can really stay in the game, especially early, is creating turnovers. So this is definitely not the start that Matt Wells and his staff wanted to see from the Aggies, especially after a short week. So you have to wonder, how much does this scheduling impact things early in games in terms of guys being ready at the beginning of the game?
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Tennessee Tech ball, first down.
But as it stands, we have our first turnover here in this game.
So great opportunity here. And we will get a look at the true freshman quarterback, Bailey Fisher. There he is, number 4. Completing just under 52% of his passes. What a moment for him on this big stage. Fisher rolls out. Receivers open, and one thing quarterbacks have to get used to as well, Darius, is the elevation. Because that ball will go further than you expect at this elevation.
It'll travel a little bit, and that's exactly what happened to Bailey Fisher there. I like the call, though, from Dwayne Alexander. Get your young quarterback on the outside to start the game. Make it a pass that he's used to throwing, a timing route. Unfortunate that it didn't work out for the Golden Eagles.
Points have been hard to come by at times for Tennessee Tech, averaging just 10 points per game through the first 2 weeks. The toss is to Goldsmith. He mishandled it momentarily, and he stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Christopher Unga, big nose guard, 6 feet, 295 pounds.
Tipa Nalei there, number 10 to the defensive end. He does a nice job of shooting up the field and stopping that play before it starts. Now we see our first 3rd and long situation for the young quarterback.
They've converted just 32% of the time on 3rd down this season. Fisher, the blitz is coming. He gets rid of it, but really just throws it away. So interesting, they're at the 37-yard line. I thought perhaps they'd consider going for it and take advantage of field position, but for the moment, it appears they're going to punt it.
This is a nice job by the Aggies on defense there. Mika Mungale, he's the one who gets there, forces the early throw from Bailey Fisher.
Well, check that. They are going to go ahead and try to kick this thing a field goal. Mendonca
not
into
ready
kick.
for this as well. Looks like the Aggies are going to have to take a timeout.
Well, I think they're as surprised as I am that they're going for the field goal.
Utah State has called their first time out of the half. 30-second timeout.
Well, you wonder this too, Ari, if this were the Aggies, with how well Dominique Eberle has played, they probably would try to kick it as well. I don't think it's that far of a stretch that you want to go for a 54-yard field goal, but they're trying to take advantage of this opportunity on the other side of the field.
He does have a career long of 57, and I'm guessing that wasn't at this high elevation. So perhaps Coach Alexander knows what he's doing. He's going to give his senior kicker a chance to get the Golden Eagles on the board first. For those of you wondering about Tennessee Tech, they play in the Ohio Valley Conference. So far this season, they've lost at UT Chattanooga 34-10, and they lost at Kennesaw State 49-10. So they've only been able to come up with 10 points in each of their first 2 games. So they are going to go ahead and go for it here. 54-yard field goal attempt. Kick is on the way, has the distance, and it is good. So the Golden Eagles take advantage of the turnover, and they get the 3 on the 54-yard kick, and I guess Coach Alexander knew his kicker, huh?
Yeah, you got to give Alexander the thumbs up for trusting in his kicker. But a nice job straight down the pipe, too. I think that this thing could have gone from maybe 60. A few more. He could have made that from 60 for sure. Look at the strong leg there. Could we see a battle of kickers today?
I already feel like we've talked more about kickers than any game you and I have ever done together before.
No, that's true. That's certainly true. Certainly true.
Now for Utah State, they've got some outstanding talent on offense. You see there, Coach Alexander's got to be pleased. When we take a look, there's Jordan Love. They got to like the completion percentage. Gerald Bright, terrific running back, and Dax Raymond, who had the fumble, is really an elite tight end. A guy who's going to be first team All-Mountain West.
Sure.
Likely he was preseason, has a chance to be an All-American.
And he's got a chance really to play at the next level now. He's just a junior now, but when you talk about tangibles that a tight end has, he has that at 6'5", 250, excellent route runner, sure-handed, but he's got to secure the football.
Another strong kick, no chance at a return. All right, Jordan Love and company back to work. They only had it for a single play before the Raymond fumble. We'll see how the Aggies react to a little adversity.
And to me, if I'm David Yost, the offensive coordinator for the Aggies, I'm going right back to Dax Raymond. Give your leader, especially your leading wide receiver, an opportunity with the ball in his hands again. Show him you trust him.
Catch is made. Jalen Green, the USC transfer. He is the only receiving touchdown amongst the receivers so far this year. He graduated and has a final year of eligibility.
He's actually a very versatile athlete as well. He was a former high school quarterback.
And we've got an injured Golden Eagle on the field, right at about the 37-yard line. That's number 2 there down on the field. That's a Derek Moore, junior from Selma, Alabama.
Now, Ari, if you're the Golden Eagles, in terms of that last play where Jalen Green guarded for 8 yards, you got to look at the splits on the outside. That time, the corner, A.J. Flemister, was about 10 yards off of his wide receiver, his coverage. So whenever you give that cushion, it makes it easy to be able to go in and to make that catch. But you see the leg bend there as we look at this replay. Sometimes when you're around that pile, Ari, it can get kind of sticky, and especially some of those big bodies, some of those big offensive linemen and defensive linemen falling on your legs.
I sort of feel like when you played at Notre Dame, nobody ever touched you.
Well, I'm glad you like to think that, but certainly wasn't my experiences.
Okay, you did take some hits?
I took quite a few hits there, for sure. But you really hope that for the Golden Eagles, Derek Moore is okay. He had a breakout season a year ago with 95 tackles as their leading tackler, so they're going to need him not only in this game, but especially in this season. But he's certainly walking gingerly off to the sideline. Have to see if Kristen can't get us an update.
Well, she'll be hustling down there. That we know for sure. She's the hardest worker I know down on the field. On the ground, it's Bright. And Bright picks up the Utah State first down. That big offensive line. You got to love an offensive line that starts 4 seniors and a redshirt freshman. They've got a ton of experience up front. The leader of that group, the center, Quinn Ficklin.
He made a terrific block at that time on the nose guard. Anytime you get that kind of push from your center, the center's pushing the nose guard back 4 or 5 yards. If you're the running back, especially a guy Gerald Bright size, all you got to do is get behind him and let him work.
Love goes to the second level and completes it. Good looking throw there to Jordan Nathan. Gain of 13 on the play. And the Aggies will go quick. It's going to be up tempo all night.
Makes conditioning a big issue for both teams.
Well, he threw that into some traffic. The umpire was an extra defender there. as there was just a lot of bodies moving in the middle of the field.
They got in the way of Jordan Nathan's highlight or sight there in terms of looking for the ball, but a nice job so far from Jordan Love being able to pick apart this defense a little bit.
Well, and it's
taking
great
advantage of what they're giving him.
They hired Chucky Keaton. He is the grad assistant on offense, and he had such a great career here at Utah State.
Familiar name for sure.
Yeah, so having Chucky around to help Jordan, what a great asset for Jordan to lean on. It's Bright again, big hole. And he has 11 yards and another Aggies first down.
Right now, in terms of the line of scrimmage, the Aggies are dominating this line of scrimmage right now. Another excellent run from Gerald Bright, and they're quick to the line again.
Quick to the line, little wide receiver screen. Tarver with the catch. Tarver is a senior, and he's really an outstanding player. 22 career starts, most on the team.
And he's big too at 6'3", 215. He's big and physical, got great hands. Another one of those JUCO transfers that the Aggie leaned on.
And Tarver this time no place to go. They tried to go right back to the same play, but the defense wasn't fooled. Ade Conjur able to come up with the stop.
Excellent job, Ade Conjur, recognizing exactly what the Aggies were trying to do to him. He actually blew that play up because Aaron Vaughns, the other wide receiver, was trying to block. Ade Conjur went right through him.
Darwin Thompson has come in at running back. He's number 5. He's just to the left of Jordan Love.
We're going to see 3 different running backs for the Aggies are Gerald Bright, Darwin Thompson, and they also bring in El Toro Allen. He's number 22.
Love on third down. It's complete to Tarver. First down and more inside the 25.
Again, on the outside for the Golden Eagles, those splits, they are giving a huge cushion right now to all wide receivers for the Aggies. If you're Jordan Love, you've got to take advantage of that with the stop routes.
Thompson, and he's smothered for a loss, a 2-yard loss. Good job by the Tennessee Tech defense.
That's Chris Tucker there, number 55. He just blew right by Alfred Edwards, the left tackle. We've seen so far the Aggies dominate up front. The Golden Eagles look like they're trying to step up and trying to win some of these one-on-one battles. You got to fight back if you're the Golden Eagles. That line of scrimmage is ever so important.
They hand it off, the end around. Make one guy miss, make 2 guys miss. Aaron Vaughns, little guy, shows off. He's elusive.
Yeah, nice dancing job by Vaughns here. This is all sort of individual effort because you see all the white jerseys around him. It wasn't great blocking from his teammates, but he essentially made something out of nothing there. Able to wiggle around and make it a 3rd and short. Right now, with how well the Aggies have done on the line of scrimmage, Ari, if you're in this situation in 3rd and short, hand that football off to Darwin Thompson. Let him go up the middle behind Quinn Ficklin. Try to pick up this first down.
And this is tough on that defense. They got to be out there. There's no chance to get anybody out of the game as Thompson has enough for the first down.
We have a flag here.
There is a flag on the play at the 17-yard line.
Holding, offense, number 72, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, 3rd down.
That's the redshirt freshman left tackle, Alfred Edwards. They really like him. They earned the job during spring ball. Really pleased with him through the first couple of games. Big guy, 6'7", 310 pounds.
He's got the size, but he's another one of those inexperienced offensive linemen that the Aggies have up front, so they're really expecting him to step up and be a dominant force on the edge. But so far, a couple of miscues from the Aggies early in this game. The fumble early on from Dax Raymond, and now you're in the red zone with a 3rd and short. You put yourself in a tough situation in 3rd and long.
Blitz is coming. Love gets it out. Catch is made, but not enough for the first down. Jalen Green makes the catch, but it's going to be 4th and short. And will we see the Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Week, Dominic Eberle?
Give him an opportunity. There he is. Not going to take anything away from him so far. Perfect on the year with field goals.
A total of 7 for 7 on the season. This will be a 34-yard attempt. He was a finalist last year for the Lou Groza Award. He's on the Groza watch list. It's a strong boot. It's up and it is good, and we are tied at 3.
This is definitely something I think, Ari, for us to put out to the Facebook crew about Dominic Eberle. But let's watch some highlights here first. You see Nathan with the catch on the outside route, does an excellent job. And then Gerald Bright, he's been terrific, especially this past series. Looking outstanding. And then Tarver comes across the middle on that crossing route. Another strike from Jordan Love. And he's been very impressive, I think, so far early in this game, Ari, is Jordan Love and his ability to be able to find wide receivers and throw accurate passes. But the man of the week is Dominic Eberle as he extends his numbers to 8 of 8 for field goals now in the season, which is really impressive. And I want to throw this out to Facebook just in terms of today. That's Eberle's first field goal of the day. How many do we think he'll have today?
That's a pretty good question, and I think we should bring in our social media expert on this. Kristen, how many field goals do you think Dominic's going to have?
Well, I think the key is that if you would ask Dominic, he would say 10 for 10. He's going to get 10, and he's going to go for all 10 of them. Yes.
Yeah.
So I would say he's going to be 100% is what he would tell us. Guys, I am checking in on Facebook and Instagram for everyone. We've already got some Instagram pictures rolling in already. I think we have Quinn Ficklin's family. And remember, you can use that hashtag TTUVSUSU. Keep those Instagram pictures coming. I'm also, oh, look at that. That is cute. Hurricane Florence can't keep me from cheering on the Utah State Aggies and my Uncle Quinn from out here in North Carolina. Stay safe. My family's in North Carolina, too.
Sure.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Also got plenty of people tuning in from where they're watching. Adrian's from chiming in from Vegas, Caleb from Hawaii, Lucci from Los Angeles, Tanya from Randolph, Utah, Celeste from Oklahoma City. We have got so many. We've also already got some international ones. What I want to know is if Luke Maynard's family is watching. He is a punter from Tennessee Tech, and he is from Australia. Check this map out. It's over 9,700 miles from his hometown of Bannockburn, Australia, to Cookville. Ari, I know you love
international.
You love an international country count. We've already got Andrew from Copenhagen watching. We're going to keep an eye on those. We'll see if Luke Maynard's family chimes in, because we can do that on Facebook. Everybody can watch and comment. And guys, by the way, on the injury front, Tennessee Tech is not sharing any information on injuries, but I'll let you know if I see anything out here.
All right, thank you, Kristen. I'm saying I want the over-under on countries represented at 10.
10 countries represented here today.
I think we can do it.
We can do
I got
anything
spoiled
we set
because I
our
had Air
minds to.
Force week 1, and they have cadets all over the globe, and the countries just kept flowing in. Kind of an ugly kick here. And is it going to be a touchback? No, it goes out before the pylon. It's a good field position coming up for Tennessee Tech.
So
A
far,
rare special teams miscue.
It's just for the Aggies right now. The miscues are really sort of hurting them. First it was that Dax Raymond fumble, and then the holding on Alfred Edwards on that last series that forced them to have to try to kick a field goal.
But the perfect run of Dominic Eberle, you know, Kristen said he'd be perfect. I think one kickoff out of bounds, that negates a perfect score on the evening.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's over, so
I
he's no
got to
longer
feel
100%.
Matt Wells is not giving him an A+ today. Matt devotes so much time to special teams. So much they don't even have a special teams coordinator. All the coaches chip in, and Matt Wells makes it a real priority for him. So Bailey Fisher and the Golden Eagles back to work. And they give it to Goldsmith, and he's got some room to work with before he's upended by Shaq Bond after a gain of 6.
We're seeing two centers play really, really well right now. For the Aggies, Quinn Ficklin has looked terrific, but Daley Cole, number 54, he's the center for the Golden Eagles. He did a terrific job that time of opening up a nice hole.
He's transferred over from Memphis, where he was a preferred walk-on, and now the starter for Tennessee Tech. Fisher gets it out in the flat, and a real nice job there by Cunningham. Makes the guy miss and gets the first down.
If you're the Aggies, you're the first guy to the ball. You have to get him down. You have to take advantage of these opportunities. John Trell Rockamore, number 3, the outside linebacker. He was the first one to get there. Could have stopped that for no gain. But when you have missed tackles and you're giving guys that have that kind of athleticism as some of the Golden Eagles players do, that's how they can pick up big yardage. It's fundamentals right now that's really hurting the Aggies.
1st and 10. And Fisher taken down in the backfield. Absolutely no place to go. Leilua gets the tackle for a loss of 4.
Sometimes at the defensive line, it's just about being smart and not going for the bait. Leilua does not go for the bait. He doesn't go for the fake at all. Takes a huge bite out of Bailey Fisher. Nice job by the big man up front.
His team's been getting after the quarterback, coming in with 8 sacks. That's number 1 in the Mountain West and 8th in the country. The Fisher blitz is coming. Oh, they had the right play call, but the catch is not made by number 88, and that had a chance to be a big play, but instead it will be 3rd and long.
This is really unfortunate for the Golden Eagles because the past 2 weeks, when you have a young quarterback, a true freshman quarterback like Bailey Fisher, if you're one of the veterans on the team, you got to help him out. Way too many drop passes right now for the Golden Eagles. That time, DJ Wykes, one of the backup tight ends, he's a junior. He's got to help his young quarterback out.
Fisher rolls out, running out of real estate, and he's going to throw that into his own team's bench. So good pressure in that series from the Aggies. Going to force the punt. And here is the Aussie, Luke Maynard, averaging just under 40 yards per punt. That is Jordan Nathan, number 16, back deep for Utah State.
Maynard's going to do that rugby style where he takes a couple of steps to his right before kicking the ball.
And Nathan gets over there from his own 19, and that's where the angled kick really helps the coverage unit. They don't have a lot of area to cover, and they're able to stop him right where he caught the football. All right, Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week, Aaron Wade. What a game, 10 tackles, 2 interceptions, and they were the first ones of his career. 5th-year senior. And how about the Special Teams Player of the Week? As if we haven't mentioned Dominic Everly yet.
He did have a terrific game last week, tying the NCAA single game record with 24 points, 3 field goals over 50 yards. He's been outstanding, but he was outstanding last year. So this is not a surprise for Matt Wells and his staff. But you're right, Dominic Everly, he's gotten a lot of FaceTime today. We talked about him in the open. Kristen did some stuff on him down on social media.
I think this is like a new record for conversation about a place kicker. All right, I need some trivia, Kristen.
Well,
talk
but
to me.
How about when Coach Wells said, you know, we talked to him and he said, okay, he's done after this. We're shooting pieces with him. He's on my radio show. But he said he could not be a nicer kid. And I can tell you that from talking to him. He is so humble. Okay, so we got a little trivia based on those 2 guys. So obviously Utah State had 2 of the 3 Mountain West Players of the Week that you guys just mentioned. And, you know, Coach Wells said, I think Gerald Bright, if we would have left him in a little bit longer, he could have been the 3rd one. But my question to everyone watching is, when is the last time Utah State has had 2 Conference Players of the Week in the same week? Now, Coach Wells
I have a
did not.
follow-up. Hold on,
Yes.
I got to get clarity here. Is that only in the Mountain West, or does that go back to their days in the WAC?
It can go back to their day. I'll say that. I don't want to give too much away, but I
is
cannot
available.
specify Mountain West.
Okay.
Conference Players of the Week.
That's an important distinction.
Yes,
Thank you.
and even Coach Wells didn't know this one. So I would love to see what everyone says.
Let me ask you this, Christian, if it's okay to put this out there, and just in terms of hints. Was Chucky Keaton one of the ones who was the Player of the Week?
He might have been.
Okay.
Now, did you know that one, or did you peek, Darius?
It's unclear right now in terms of. I'm just taking a guess since he's here as a GA. I wonder if it was around that time period.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
absolutely. So keep those. So Darius might have given you guys a hint. So take those hints and run. I'm going to be looking to see who gets the correct answer in the comments, and we'll be shouting all those people out. Oh, guys, we got some international Instagrams already. Ari, I know you love this. BCCer says, up early at 5 a.m. to watch the Aggies from Turkmenistan using that hashtag TTUVSUSU. Make sure to send us those pictures no matter where you're coming from.
I mean, that should count for 2 countries. I mean, that's really impressive that he got up that early. He's got his kid up with him at 5 a.m. I mean, that's good stuff.
Well, listen, Ari, I know you're trying to get to your 10 countries here. You can't force it. You can't force it at all. And here we get a look at a Derek Moore, linebacker for the Golden Eagles. No shoe on and on crutches. Just unfortunate. You hate to see that happen to anybody.
Last catch was made by Carson Terrell. Picked up 5 yards on the play. I see a lot of people are guessing last time it happened was 2012. Keep in mind, this is the 6th season that Utah State has been in the Mountain West. They set up the screen, and it's well set up for Thompson. And Thompson has the first down. Branson Cram came up to get the tackle. 10 yards on the play for Thompson.
You know, Ari, when I was at Notre Dame, the screenplay was really one of my favorite plays because you could set it up and disguise it well.
It's Tarver on the screen, and he gets held up. Now, to say that you like to catch the ball at Notre Dame is really an understatement. I believe you are the all-time leader in receptions by a running back at Notre Dame.
This is true.
Yes.
That could have been a trivia question, I guess, as you think about this. I'm actually surprised you know that for sure. But, yeah, when I was at Notre Dame, Brady Quinn was the quarterback, so we threw the ball quite a bit. I had to figure out how to be effective during the game plan, so I had to catch the ball.
I've had a chance to get to know Brady Quinn. You guys must have had the most likable huddle ever.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
Good guys, good guys.
Good guys, yeah.
A lot of good guys here on this field today.
Jordan Love, the throw, catch is made, but it's just shy of the first down. And what a hit Jalen Green took.
A.J. Flemster, again, number 11.
Comes in there. Now, he's from Chattanooga, Tennessee. How about this? Out of the guys who are here for Tennessee Tech, 63 of them were born in Tennessee. That is homegrown talent. They love their football. 3rd and short, and it's Thompson. Picks up the first down, gets into Golden Eagle territory before Fain brings him down. 7 yards on the play.
All guys on the offensive line got to be working together for big gaping holes on offense. Carson Terrell, that time the backup tight end. Nice job blocking on the edge to give Thompson an opportunity to cut back, which he takes again for another big pickup.
6 yards on the play. He ran about 14 yards to pick up those 6 yards, but he did a nice job of stretching it out and getting to the edge.
All right, that's one of those things that they call a that-a-boy. You get a that-a-boy if it works. Boy, you are that guy if it doesn't.
This is a free play. They had 12 defenders on the field. Utah State can't take advantage, but that's where if you try to sub against a no-huddle team, you can get burned, and that's what happened right here. They had 12 guys on the field. It's almost impossible to substitute against a no-huddle team.
Yeah, you just got to keep the guys out there.
Defense, 12 players on the field, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
I believe that 5 yards will give them a first down. No, he corrects himself, so we're good.
This is definitely something you can't do if you're the Golden Eagles, giving away free plays to an offense that's got Jordan Love and Darwin Thompson and the explosive Aggies. You can't hurt yourself, especially when you're the underdog in this game.
1st and 10 for the Aggies. Love, easy completion. DJ Nelson with the catch, a senior from right here in Logan. Picks up 11 yards.
Taking a look at this run, though. Carson Terrell, you see him on the outside, number 88, washing down that entire defensive line. That's what gives Thompson the space on the outside.
See, the no-huddle even gets our crew.
Yeah, no, they're up.
It's fast.
They're up, and they're immediate. Not a whole lot of time to dissect things, but that's what makes the Aggies so special, is that in this hurry-up offense, when you got a quarterback like Jordan Love who's really playing well, making the right decisions, it's a lot of pressure.
Green breaks the tackle. And Green brought down at the 11-yard line where it'll be first down Aggies.
Boy, I hope we get a chance to take a look at that replay at some point, Ari, because DJ Nelson, the other wide receiver that was out there, what a wonderful dive he did blocking for Jalen Green on that play.
If you want to see some replays, you might want to talk to the Utah State outstanding offensive coordinator, David Yost.
Yes, hey, David, give us an opportunity to look at things here. But I tell you, if you're the Aggies, you want to keep your foot on the gas, especially in the red zone right now. The Golden Eagles are not used to this kind of condition.
Gerald Wright on
Yeah, there's almost no way to prepare for this. You know, you're back preparing in Tennessee for this game. How do you prepare for this tempo at this altitude?
Well, it's one of those things that's really, really tough for them because the Golden Aggies, they played Kennesaw State last week, which was a triple option team. So when you talk about preparing from week to week, the new challenges, that puts a lot of pressure on your defense just from a conditioning perspective. So you add the no huddle and the hurry up, then you add the elevation.
It's a
That's
lot.
a tall order, yeah, it's a lot to ask.
What do you like here on 3rd and 3?
Well, this is one of those situations where I think you have to look to the outside. They got one-on-one matchups on the outside, or unless you just want to run it too.
Just run it with Gerald Bright. Touchdown, Aggies.
Another wonderful job up front. The Aggies are just winning the line of scrimmage here. You're going to see Carson Terrell again come in after roping around from the outside and make a key block. Allows Gerald Wright to literally walk into the end zone untouched. That's a really good drive from the Aggies.
Kick is up, and it is good. And let's see what's going on with Kristen.
Hey guys, we just saw Dominic Eberle make that extra point. Darius, I know you said we've never talked about this kicker, any kicker, this much. I'm going to talk about him a little bit more because I got to walk with him 51 yards, which is where he made those 3 field goals on Saturday night. They were all from 51 yards. So we took a little walk. Here's a sneak peek of that. So you start as a walk-on. You eventually earn a scholarship. What was that like when Coach Wells told you that you were going to get a scholarship?
Just so much relief. I mean, in the end, you work so hard for certain goals, and that was that goal that I really wanted. At the time, I didn't, have the perfect financial situation. I was still waiting tables, doing everything that I could to make ends meet. And then when he gave me that scholarship, I felt relieved. My whole family was happy. It was just a blessing.
All right, well, you can see the rest of that entire thing at halftime. I think it's really great. We talk about how he went from playing soccer in Germany to becoming a kicker at Utah State. And if he thought he was getting close to any of those records on Saturday night, we'll hope you stay tuned for that at halftime. Now, guys, I haven't seen anyone get this trivia right. People are getting close, even with Darius giving everybody a big hint. I saw it was half right. I saw 2010, 2014. It was 2012. It was with Chucky Keaton and punter Tyler Bennett. That's the part that nobody was getting right. It was in 2012 when they were with the WAC. That came after a game against Utah in 2012. Utah State won that game 27-20 in overtime. I'm sure Aggies fans remember that. And I got to give a shout out to the great SID Doug Hoffman for helping us with that trivia. Because like I said, Coach Wells didn't even know.
And we're getting a look right now at Chucky Keaton, probably as popular a player that's ever played here.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And what a terrific football player he was. It's certainly exciting
and
to see
injuries
him back
kept him
Aggies
from
uniform.
playing on Sundays. He was that good.
He was that good. He really was one of those transformational players where he could kind of do everything, especially in this system. So it's exciting to see him back on the sidelines for the Aggies.
And he won't be just a GA for long, I have a feeling. If he makes a full commitment to coaching, there's a lot of places they'd be happy to have him. I got a feeling Matt Wells would love to find a spot and keep him here for as long as possible.
Absolutely.
Good scoring drive. 12 plays, 79 yards. They take just about 4 minutes off the clock, and Gerald Bright punches it in from 5 yards out.
One of those methodical drives that you love if you're Matt Wells and company. You want to be able to put these things together on a game-by-game basis. Nice work for the offense of the Aggies.
And a much better kickoff this time. Eberle keeps it in play, and it'll be a touchback. All right. Golden Eagles in Logan. Sweetwater 3 mom. You got to like that. Goldsmith the tailback, 1st and 10. And Goldsmith is brought down.
I think the one thing you have to understand if you're the Golden Eagles right now, this game we're still in the first quarter. It's only 10-3, so you're only down 7, so there's no reason to press. I think if you're the Golden Eagles, you want to continue to do what you do best, and that's run the football. Control that line of scrimmage when you can. You got a young quarterback like Bailey Fisher, Ari, and he's just a true freshman. The bright lights getting him. He doesn't have that experience. You got to do things to help get his confidence up.
The catch is made. What a play at receiver position to adjust to the football. Stafford able to make the catch. DJ Williams in coverage.
It's a wonderful job. They actually had a little bit of contact there before the ball got there. Maybe the feet got tangled or what, but nice job going up and getting the football.
26 yards for Stafford. Fake the end around. Fisher throws it, it's picked off. How about the footwork there from Gage Ferguson? His second interception of the season. He looked like an NFL receiver. He got both feet bound.
He certainly did, but boy, did he break on this football. He really did a good job of baiting Bailey Fisher into thinking that he had an open wide receiver. You're going to see Ferguson come to the left of your screen. He's going to plant that foot in the ground and just come right across and steal this football.
I mean, the footwork coming down to check.
And then to run away, the way he ran across the field, too. He almost looked kind of like a running back there. So, nice job by Gage Ferguson coming up and making a play.
See if the Aggies can take advantage of the turnover. Jordan Love gets hit on the throw. And it's way too much on it for Jordan Nathan to get there, and Jordan Love was affected on the throw by Chris Tucker. There is Chucky. Our
Chucky
apologies.
Yeah,
we had the wrong ID earlier. There's Chucky. You know, he's smart. You wear the bright yellow hat. Just be like everybody can find me, right? Oh, here we go. Darwin Thompson off to the races. 20, 10, 5, touchdown Aggies.
We're seeing complete domination right now from this offensive line over these last two series.
65-yard touchdown run for Darwin Thompson. Thompson's fourth rushing touchdown of the season.
The guy to watch there is Alfred Edwards, number 72, the left tackle. He makes one block inside, gets up to the second level to get a secondary defender. That's what really springs Darwin Thompson there. You see big 72 opening up that lane. Thompson able to do the rest. And this is such a luxury, really, for Matt Wells and David Yost, the offensive coordinator for the Aggies. Such a luxury to have two guys that can really carry the load for you. Gerald Bright, he's already got a touchdown in this game. Now Darwin Thompson comes in, relieves him, fresh legs, 65-yard TD run.
And Thompson is a freakish athlete. He can squat 560 pounds. He's got a vertical of 40 inches.
Tell you, man, workout guru.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to take some lessons, take them from Darwin Thompson there. Also showing the speed, and that's the thing that really makes him a freakish athlete that you hear about, is because he can lift so much with his legs in terms of squatting and being able to move all that kind of weight, but he also still has the speed. Generally, when guys lift that kind of weight, Ari, they don't also have the speed. Darwin Thompson certainly does. That's what makes him a freakish athlete.
Cunningham will take a knee. And now the Golden Eagles down 17-3. They got to at least take some time off the clock, get a few first downs.
It certainly has to happen. They got to be able to take some time off the clock.
All right, watch this. Here we go.
40-inch vertical here from Darwin Thompson. I almost wonder if he could have jumped up there and hit one of those lights that was take it down.
All right, let's see the squat.
Oh, this is impressive front squat, too.
I mean, like it's no big deal.
It's pretty easy. Maybe he could have been an Olympic lifter as well.
He still can be, right? There's no age limit.
You know? Yes, you know, he's focused on football now.
Right, yeah.
Different training routine, you know.
But then they have different, like, weight divisions in that. You know, he's a little guy. showing off there. I mean, he did the 560 like it was no big deal.
It was just not a
He
problem.
can do 515 for 7 reps.
7 reps at 515.
Yeah.
It's impressive. Really good for a running back, too, in terms of breaking tackles.
All right. 3rd and short here. This is what we talk about. They can just start to pick up some first downs. And we said if they want to have any chance, they've got to win time of possession.
They certainly do, and they got to take some time off the clock here and settle down this defense. Generally, when you're going up against the Aggies and you're the Golden Eagles, if you start to get beat up a little bit, you need time on the sidelines to figure it out, to really stop the bleeding. So the way you get time is your offense putting together some long drives. They really got to give their defense a chance to figure it out.
3rd down. Fisher wants to throw it. It's Cunningham. And Cunningham gets hit, stays on his feet, and goes down and only ends up back at the line of scrimmage. Aaron Wade comes in there, the reigning Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week.
There is a reason he got that award, because that was a nice job by Aaron Wade of getting up the field quickly.
And Keith Patterson, the defense coordinator, looks like he's fired up.
Done such a good job of getting new guys into the fold on defense to be able to play. You know they're playing, Ari, without one of their star inside linebackers in Suli Tamalio.
Not a good punt this time by Maynard. He kicks it right into his own team bench. Let's see where they mark the football as we take a look at the aggressive Aggies, tied for 1st in forced turnovers with 8, 5th in America with 5 interceptions, 6th in fumble recoveries, 8th in sacks per game, and 18th in plus turnover margin, or +3 on the season. That was only a 22-yard punt.
Not too good. Not too good for sure, but Keith is certainly fired up here on his defense. He wants to make sure that they are playing at a high rate all the time. And we're going against a team like the Golden Eagles. If you've got an opportunity to put them away early in the game, you got to do that.
It's Thompson. Showing off that speed. Can he do it again? Tackled from behind by Shannon Fain, or that would have been another touchdown for Thompson.
Well, this is certainly getting me excited up here, Ari, seeing running backs really play well here. But Dax Raymond, he's the star tight end for the Aggies. He's going to make another key block here on this running play. He's number 87. Darwin Thompson's always going to get the credit here, but a nice job of blocking inside there by Dax Raymond. He seals that defensive end inside, which makes it wide open outside, and then it just becomes a foot race, which in many instances, Darwin Thompson's going to win that foot race.
He almost looked a little bit like Darius Walker.
Oh, I saw you looking at me and thinking about it in your head.
Yeah, he's 5, you were 3. You know. All right, we're at the end of 1 quarter. It's 17-3, and let's hear a word from Stadium Network.
And continuing to keep their foot on the gas here, Ari, with this hurry-up offense.
And here they go. It's Bright. Does he get it across? He did not get in the end zone, but it looked like he reached it out. They are going to say he did not get in, so it was 4th down. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say they go for it.
Certainly would be the case here, but you see him get the ball on the inside. He actually has this whole backside, but he slips. That right foot plants into the ground and just didn't have enough stability on it. Slipped, was unable to get into the end zone.
4th down, it's Bright. He's not going to get in. He's going to be stopped. What a defensive goal line stand. Adekunjo right there, number 1.
Adekunjo is going to come on the backside here and get this play from the back. But check out this goal line stand here from the Golden Eagles. Nowhere to go inside. And Adekunjo on the backside comes and grabs and is able to hold on. And Ari, you almost wonder in this case with the hurry-up offense, it's 4th down. Settle down for a second. Take a timeout, take a beat, figure out what call you need to make. Make sure that you have everyone in the right positions. In that instance, I think that's where the hurry-up offense really hurt them. They didn't take a chance and make sure that they were in the right play.
Golden Eagles got to be careful here in the shotgun. And they just get it out of the end zone. Goldsmith gets it to about the 1.5-yard line.
You know, the makings of good teams, Ari, they put teams away when they have the opportunity to do that. And that's what the Aggies really want to be. Matt Wells stresses playing 4 quarters and playing at your best rate. You got to take advantage of those opportunities in the red zone and on the goal line to put the Golden Eagles out of this game.
It's Goldsmith again. He stood up after maybe a gain of a foot or so. They're asking for a safety. They're not going to get it.
He was certainly a couple of yards in before he got pulled back. But you have to I kind of scratch my head here a little bit, Ari, for the Golden Eagles in terms of the conservative play calling here on the goal line. Yes, you don't want a mistake, but you got to try to win this game. You got to give yourself an opportunity. So we saw 2 runs right up the middle. Try to take something outside, give Bailey Fisher an opportunity to run the bootleg, use his legs to pick up some yardage.
Well, this would be nice if they ever got under center. It makes it a little more nerve-wracking, the shotgun. Deep pass thrown to the outside, almost caught. As R.D. Ford had his hands on it, I thought he was going to bring it in for a second.
R.D. Ford certainly had an opportunity to get this. He's going to have the height advantage over Jamarcus Ingram. Jamarcus Ingram is 6'1", R.D. Ford is 6'3". He's got to do a better job of getting the ball at its highest point and extending those arms. When you're going to try to use your height advantage over a guy, it's almost like boxing out in basketball underneath the rim. You got to get the ball at its highest point, but to do that, you need to extend them and catch the ball up high. This ball gets too close into his body, which makes the catch even more difficult to pull down with Jamarcus Ingram all over.
Maynard able to get it off quickly this time. It's Nathan inside the 35 and wrapped up at the 32-yard line. 41 yards on the punt, and more importantly, he got it off so quickly there was no chance to block it. And they were in that condensed punt formation.
You know, I keep going back to this for the Golden Eagles, but it's so true when you have a young quarterback. The other players have to help him out.
They got to lift him up.
They've got to lift him up and give him opportunities. Bailey Fisher is just a true freshman. He's still trying to figure it out, and he's going to make a lot of mistakes. But you got to help him out by catching balls that you should and putting yourself in the right situation. I mean, we do that all the time because we need our help from Kristen.
All right, Kristen's been here since Saturday. Kristen, tell us about your time here.
Yeah, that's right, guys. I have been here since the last game, which was versus New Mexico State. It's been a great time. So on Saturday, I asked all the Utah State fans, what should I do with my time here in Logan? And everyone was awesome. They gave me so many suggestions. Here are a couple of things when I took people up on their suggestions. Okay, I'm outside Aggie Creamery, right there. I got my Aggie ice cream. I went with cookies and cream because it's my absolute favorite. Although the girl working told me that I had to try Aggie Blue Chip before I left or everyone would be mad at me. It is delicious, and so is this. Oh man, it's good. I get why everyone's talking about it. Right now I am walking on Aggie Boulevard. I got my backpack on, trying to pretend like I'm still a student, even though very clearly I am not. And just like, I mean, look at these mountains. I know everyone here in Logan is used to it, but it is just a very, very beautiful place to go to college. I get it. It is absolutely gorgeous. I just passed the College of the Arts and the radio station. I'm having a blast here. Beautiful day, so I decided to come sit outside of Morty's. I got the chicken bacon ranch with sweet potato fries. Whew, it is so good. Thank you all for so many awesome suggestions. This is delicious, and I've got a great view of the campus, and I'm just enjoying myself. All right, just did a hike to the Wind Caves outside of Logan. Absolutely stunning. I can't even believe this. So gorgeous here. Guys, 2 words, Aggie ice cream. Maybe that's 3 words. Oh, that's a fail right there.
It's great stuff. Way to take advantage of your time out here. It's so beautiful. I remember when I started covering the Mountain West 10 seasons ago and got started to come out to Utah, I was like, wow, it is spectacular.
Yeah, I think Kristen's really setting herself up for like a travel show. I mean, what do you think? Like maybe a travel show, travel
and how about she shot all that herself?
She did, yeah. Producer, cameraman, and reporter.
Complete inside the 5 as they go to the tight end, Carson Terrell. And they're gonna go quick. 1st and goal at the 1. And Jordan Love keeps it, takes it for 6. Touchdown, Aggies.
Well, the entire defense for Tennessee Tech that time just had no idea where the ball was going. An excellent job from Jordan Love of using that play fake and getting it to the outside to pay dirt. But this is exactly what Matt Wells and his staff really want to do, especially on offense. Take advantage of the opportunities that they give you. Now, you're going to see Carson Terrell here. Watch him box out the defender here. We're looking at it from his back here, but he's number 88. He's going to catch this. There's no way that the defender can get to the ball because he's boxing him out away from it. Nice job using his body there. And then the play fake on the inside. Easy walk-in touchdown for Jordan Love. And this is the type of game that the Aggies are supposed to play. This is how they're supposed to play early in this game. When you've got an opportunity to put teams away, if you're Matt Wells and company, this is what you do. Keep your foot on the gas for another quarter and put this game out of reach.
Guys, Jordan Love's family is watching. I saw them commenting earlier from Bakersfield. You got to think that they like that one right there.
Like it a lot. I mean, he is so calm out there. He just looks like one of those guys.
Been there before type thing?
You've been there before.
Sure.
Like, you know, you score the touchdown, you just give the ball to the official because you know you're coming back.
Well, you think about, we talk Chucky Keaton. He's a guy who certainly has been in Jordan Love's ear this entire season. You have to think that that perspective is very helpful, especially in big moments, staying calm under pressure, having poise. Chucky Keaton was certainly that guy.
Look at the fans, they're just having some fun. We have more college football coming your way on Saturday. UAB hosts Tulane. That stadium production can be seen at 1 p.m. on Facebook. Then Lane Kiffin and the FAU Owls host Bethune-Cookman. You can catch that game on Stadium Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. The only 24/7 network available on both television and digital devices without a cable subscription. Stadium, welcome to the game. They get it out on the perimeter to their playmaker, Josh Cunningham. Solid gain on first down.
Guys, real quick, Donna Fisher, Bailey's mom, is watching. So we gave Jordan Love's family some love. And we got Donna Fisher, Bailey's mom, watching here too.
I have to wonder this, and it's just because of my personal preference with my mom. I love her cooking. I wonder if the moms are cooking up something right now.
Sounds great.
Fisher with time completes it, and it's the tailback, Andrew Goldsmith, into Aggies territory. Ball comes out late, but the ground caused the fumble. Goldsmith, that's his 6th catch of the season. He looked real comfortable out there. Looked like a wide receiver.
I mean, he looked very, very comfortable out there on the outside. Let's take another look to see if he actually fumbled. Is this knee down?
Knees down, still got it in hand.
He does look down, and he still has it in hand. Yeah, the ground definitely caused that fumble.
They go right back to Goldsmith, but not much doing on first down.
But I love the job there by Trey Lamb, offensive coordinator for the Golden Eagles, trying to mix it up a little bit, get the running back outside, force a matchup for the Aggies where they got to put a linebacker on him in a one-on-one situation. Really paid off for a big gain for the Golden Eagles.
The end around, it's the right play call against his defense. Big gain on the play as they didn't see that coming. Cam Singletary, the freshman, showing off that speed.
Wonderful job. You see Trey Lance really going into this playbook now to mix this up on this drive, and they're really having a lot of success there. Cam Singletary, the true freshman, you have to remember he's in because Brad Clark, their other freshman, he's out today. So Cam Singletary taking advantage of the opportunities he's given.
David Gist breaks one tackle and then no place to go. Caden Anderson, 94, gets the tackle for the Aggies. Loss on the play.
Anderson's going to get the credit for that tackle, but it was the other defensive end, Dalton Baker, who got in there first to turn that thing around and turn it up inside. Defense is such a team sport on defense, especially on that defensive line. All guys working together. One guy's going to get the credit for the tackle. That's what the other guys do to lead the ball carrier that way. Nice job collectively on the defensive line for the Aggies.
Huge shift as they move all the big boys to the left side of the line. Play action. Fisher's going to take off and run. Fisher inside the 5, dives it to the 1. Does the ball out? Ball's out.
Looks like it was recovered by the Golden Eagles. Scary moment there for the Golden Eagles in terms of a potential turnover again. But a nice job by Bailey Fisher here. This is what you have to do if you're him in this offense. Let's see if this ball comes out.
It's out.
Oh, that looks like that is out for sure. Question is who comes up with the football at the end of this play.
1st and goal at the 1. Direct snap, and Goldsmith has to fall on it at the 10. So they lose 9 yards on 1st and goal.
You almost wonder if that actually worked in their favor, just snapping the ball quickly. Oh, they got it in anyway. I was wondering if maybe they got a chance to get by that review. They're going to review that previous play, as they certainly should. It's not exactly clear, as we'll take another look at this as well, all right. Not exactly clear who comes up with the ball. I think it was a fumble. We can agree that watching the replay, it was a fumble. The question is who comes up with the football at the end of this play.
Fisher communicating with his coaching staff. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that the ball is out before the knee touches.
Well, they said that the officials said that the ball was recovered by the offense.
Well, then who cares if it's a fumble or not?
It really wouldn't matter, but it seems like they're taking another look at this as well. Maybe that wasn't accurate.
Well, yeah, if it was recovered by Utah State, we're going to have a change of possession. I just haven't seen a replay where we saw clearly who comes up with the ball. All right, let's see if we get a look at this.
It went out, but we still see the graphics.
So Fisher dives, ball comes out. There it is.
There's
this
the
is
ball
on the ground. And for a moment, it looked like Tennessee Tech had it. I think Tennessee Tech's got it.
It does look like a white jersey has the ball.
Yeah, Caden Anderson, 94 in blue, was fighting for it. But look, the guy from Tennessee Tech comes up with it.
So it's a no call either way.
Well, for statistic purposes, whether or not it was a forced fumble recovered by the offense, that would be the only distinction.
But it looks like they're going to keep the possession. The Golden Eagles, so they get lucky.
Well, they get a break because they lost 9 yards on the play they ran. So they're like, thanks for the review, guys.
Exactly. They get the review actually helped them in this instance. I had thought for a second that they got the ball off before the review came down, so it would have helped them in that instance, but they got the ball anyway. So
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Tennessee Tech ball, 1st down, 1 yard line.
I'm surprised he didn't say confirm, because stands just means there wasn't enough to overturn it. Confirm means they got it right. And
well, I would assume he's got the same angles that we have here in terms of seeing it. Maybe it wasn't exactly 100% clear who got the ball.
Well, you're so nice.
You know,
tonight.
it's just
really, do you just feeling the love?
You know,
it's great to see it.
You got to give them a break. You know, we're in Utah. We're looking at the mountains here. It's nice.
It is a beautiful picture. It's one of the great press boxes in the Mountain West. All right, here we go. 1st and goal from the 1 in the Wildcat.
This did not work out for them on that last play. You remember that last play with the bobbled snap? It was out of the Wildcat with Andrew Goldsmith. We're going to run it again.
He's going to look around, and the Utah State defense penetrates and no place to go.
I've been given a thumbs up this entire series already of Trey Lamb and his ability to be able to call some different plays, get creative, and mix it up. In my mind, you can't come back out in the same formation, especially if it's one of those things like the Wildcat that's different that you don't see. You can't come back out in that same formation. The defense already saw it last play.
So they bring Bailey Fisher back in the game at quarterback. Goldsmith to his left. Going to the end zone to Cunningham, and well defended. That was a really pretty good throw. Shaq Bond in coverage.
Cunningham really had an opportunity to cut in front and get this. If he was just slightly more aggressive with the ball, you'll see him, number 9. If he takes a few steps forward and goes to try to catch that football, instead of being a little bit delayed there, we'd have had a better chance and a better angle at catching that, almost like an interception across the defender. But as it stands, it brings up a 3rd down and short situation again for the Golden Eagles. You got to look on the outside here. Andrew Goldsmith, he's coming in motion. You got an opportunity.
Fisher's got a guy in the back of the end zone, and he knocked down. He had a receiver that was running along the backside of the end zone, but couldn't get him the football. Instead, they'll go for 3.
This is a nice job tracking just by the Utah State defense. No one was fooled. Look at all these blue jerseys that come into the frame towards the end of this play.
Alex Carling, though, number 6, was open at the back of the end zone.
Not enough space anywhere for Bailey Fisher to be able to thread that needle through the defense. Wonderful stand by the Aggies.
20-yard attempt. Officially, they're calling it 21. Kick is up, and it is good.
Larry, let's take another look at some of these plays on that series. Trey Lamb did a nice job of mixing it up, but it all started with Andrew Goldsmith at the wide receiver position. Nice job on the inside of tracking that and catching that football, and then the trick play on the end around with Moore picking up some big gains and some big yardage there. And then Bailey Fisher fumbles the football at the 1-yard line. They're able to recover it and give themselves an opportunity to keep the ball, able to put 6 points up on the board. And that's a huge win for the Aggies, at least on defense, to be able to make that stand in that moment and in that situation when the Golden Eagles were playing so well on offense.
Sort of was surprised that they didn't go for it on 4th down. I mean, how many chances are the Golden Eagles going to have inside the 5-yard line?
For sure. Especially an opportunity like that. You're getting ready to go and getting close to halftime here. You got to get some points up on the board, try to steal a little bit of momentum. Field goal is just not going to help you that much, but it does help.
And look, our perspective is easy. It's just about winning and losing. But these are also games, as you take a look at Instagram. Tyson Quaid Ellis. There's somebody watching from Cleveland. I really like the blue hair. That you're putting some effort into that.
Really going all out there. It looks like we got another mother here on Facebook, Cena Walker. She's watching her son, Morian Walker Jr., number 29. Like that last name.
I bet you do.
High five to Cena.
Scarver, 24 yards on the return. Well, take a good look at these Utah State offensive players when they're at a slow jog, because this team goes fast. Jordan Love, look at those numbers.
Offense.
14 of 16, 123 yards, and he's added a rushing touchdown.
Not to mention Darwin Thompson. He's over 100 yards for the day. Gerald Bright, he's got a touchdown today.
And Jordan Love really completes it. It's Jordan Nathan, and he's got 12 yards and a first down. I want to tell you that there is a gentleman who is watching from Australia, another Australian, as he's watching his guy Luke Maynard, the punter. On the ground, lots of room to work with there for Gerald Bright. 12 yards on the play. They're picking up yards in chunks.
Hey, I'm impressed so far with Dax Raymond, the tight end. His ability as a blocker. Been very impressive today on the outside.
Oh, Jordan Love, that was dangerous. Threw that ball out in the flat. And I don't think he saw that one of the DBs was coming hard on that ball. Ty Carter there. Almost got himself a pick 6.
This is one of those moments for the Golden Eagles where they really need to try to make a stand here. They can make a stand and get their offense the ball back. They can really start to try to put a little bit of pressure on the Aggies.
Bright, the ball carrier. Picks up 6 yards. Brings up 3rd down. On the night on 3rd down, the Aggies are 3 for 5.
This is a huge stand right now for the Golden Eagles on 3rd down.
It's Bright, and wow, the second effort gets the first down for Utah State. Well done, Gerald Bright. Flemister comes up to make the tackle.
It's just a slow job from Randy Lewis, the Sam backer there, trying to get upfield to be able to make a play. Slow recognition by him.
Hold on, it looked like the play was not going anywhere. His ball was on the turf.
See Matt Wells here. He's not happy.
There is no play. The ball was not ready for play. First down.
They were going so fast that they were too quick for the officials.
The ball was not ready.
Officials got to do extra training when they've got Utah State
especially in the elevation.
Yeah.
You also have to think about that as well. They're running down the sideline too. And they don't have as much padding as those football players. Plus, they're probably not as young as those football players as well. A lot of things working against the officials here from a conditioning perspective. But right now, if you're the Golden Eagles, I mean, you've got to figure out a way to get a turnover here. A turnover will lift the spirits of this offense and lift the spirits of this team, because right now it's a little dull for them.
Jordan Love, nice touch to Nathan, and does he make the catch? No. Great coverage. And that was Tompkins, not Nathan. That's on me. Devin Tompkins, number 19, the freshman from Fort Myers, was the intended target.
A.J. Flemister did a nice job of covering him up there. Went for the ball to strip it out, knock it down before getting there. And this is what you got to do if you're the Golden Eagles. This is huge right now. This series is really big for them in terms of momentum for this game, getting ready to get closer towards halftime. They desperately need a stop.
Jordan Love the throw, and a little bit too much on that one. He threw that one with a little bit of mustard on it, and Taylor Compton can't make the catch. So fourth down, it looks like they're going to keep the offense out there on the field. I mean, isn't this normally Dominic Everly time?
Well, it's only third down.
Oh, my bad.
They've got one more down before they get to Everly time.
I get so excited about the kicker tonight.
Well, plus they're going so fast, too. You and the referees, the officials, everyone's kind of all over the place here. But that was a nice route, that last play from Taylor Compton. It's unfortunate that the ball was not there from Jordan Love.
Jordan Love's got Scarver. Scarver's got it. Touchdown, Aggies.
Well, Ari, we've been giving A.J. Flemister a lot of credit for what he's been doing on defense, but you've seen him run a lot with deep routes. He's the guy who's covering on this play. A.J. Flemister, number 11 for the Golden Eagles. He's been covering a lot of deep balls. So what it looks like on this play is that he might have been gassed. He might have been a little bit tired and was a step slow when covering Savon Scarver. But Scarver's showing you why he's got that track speed. Scarver's to the left of the screen here.
Third and long for the Golden Eagles. Well, their defense could use a first down from their offense. They just need to kind of collect themselves here and pick up a few first downs.
You've got to give themselves an opportunity to do that.
Fisher, and his receiver has no chance there. Wrapped up as soon as he caught the football.
Well, again, I go back to this, Ari, as it's 31-6. The play calling on offense for the Golden Eagles just continues to be conservative. The one drive that they had where they mixed it up, we saw an in around, we saw a screen play, we saw crossing routes. They mixed it up really well. We're able to get 3 points out of that drive. And just here we go again with just conservative. They're just being conservative on offense with what they're calling.
Well, this is a moment where all the fans down under are waiting for to see Luke Maynard punt. Last one he had to punt from the back of his own end zone. This is his best punt of the night. Fair catch at the 40-yard line. 34 yards on the punt, but it had good hang time, so no chance at a return. All right, Chris, and this is a heartwarming tale you're about to share. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We've seen redshirt junior linebacker Josh Poplar out there for this Tennessee Tech defense all night. And man, what a story. Coach Dwayne Alexander said this could be a movie, all he's been through. He actually had a stroke before the start of 2017 fall camp. He was diagnosed with a stroke on the team's fitness test, and a hole in his heart was discovered. He had to have surgery and sit out all last season, but they said he was just on the sidelines the entire time, cheering everyone on with a big smile on his face. Now he is back. He had a pick six in their first game, guys. Coach Alexander said he could be a movie. We gave him a movie poster. Did you see it right there? Well, off of Mr. Incredible. I just think you gotta love, and by the way, guys, he was a walk-on. I mean, his story is just, I agree with Coach Alexander. I think they could absolutely make a movie from this guy's story. And you'll love to see a success story and a guy getting back out there and being able to play. Coach Alexander said he's just like the old Poplar.
Well, the beautiful thing about football is there's so many life lessons in this game. One of the ones that always sticks out is perseverance, being able to fight through adversity. Adversity takes a variety of forms for each player, but for Poplar, the health things, the health issues that came up, and the fact that he was a walk-on, being able to fight through all of that adversity is such an inspiring story for a lot of young athletes across the country. But even more so here today, because we just saw earlier that Derek Moore, the backer, he's out, which means that Josh Poplar is a guy who's going to have to play even more here moving forward. Who knows how long Moore is going to be out? So just an inspiring story from Josh Poplar, and it's exciting to see.
Well, we've had great conditions. I've been up here. The weather could change on you in a heartbeat up here, but the weather has been great the whole weekend. I know Kristen's been here for about a week. She's been treated to terrific weather. She's actually getting mail at our hotel now. Yeah.
She's been here so long. She's getting mail. I love it.
Well, I mean, she's going to Boca Raton, Florida tomorrow.
I actually did see her with a Utah license. Yeah.
No, guys, come on. I'm an independent reporter, but you got to get your mail somewhere, you know?
Yeah. You see the Insta pictures. There's Donna Fisher. Wings Up Tech. They need some love.
I mean, I said this in the last series, Ari, and I'll say it again. They could certainly use a turnover right now.
Well, they're a little desperate. They go to the blitz, and Jordan Love is going to take that anytime when he's got Dax Raymond to throw to. 14 yards on the play.
And that time they brought the safety 10 yards back. Adam Swayze.
Tarver. And Tarver bulldozes for another Aggie first down. He is a beast, 6'3", 215 pounds.
He's got excellent hands on the outside too, but you see, continuing the hurry up for the Aggies. The Golden Eagles are going to take a timeout here, much needed timeout, to be able to give themselves an opportunity to figure out and make some adjustments on defense. And to me, Ari, for the Golden Eagles, that's been the biggest problem, is that they haven't been able to get anything going on offense, which means there have been a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of short series that they've had on offense. They haven't given the defense real time to make adjustments, to have conversations, put guys in new positions, or just talk and make sure that everyone is on the same page. So I think a timeout right now is a really good move for Dwayne Alexander. He's trying to make sure that he can keep his team in this game.
It's been a tough go in the first half. What do you make of Utah State in the Mountain West? Picked 4th in the Mountain Division. I'm not buying that anymore. Not 2.5 games in.
I think I would agree with you there, especially when you look at what has happened with some of the other teams. San Diego State, the Aztecs in particular.
Well, that's over in the West. I'm just talking in the Mountain Division alone. No, in the Mountain Division of the Mountain West.
Yeah, so they certainly should not be picked 4th on that side in terms of the Mountain Division for sure.
Jordan Love, it's Raymond. And tackled inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal.
It's one of those plays that it almost looked too easy for the Aggies there. Adam Swayze was one-on-one on the outside, on the inside for that matter, with Dax Raymond. He's nowhere close.
After Dax Raymond had that early fumble in the game, he has come on. 3 catches, 57 yards, including that 31-yard reception.
Not to mention tremendous blocking in the run game.
Love to throw, has a receiver open. Look at the touch, and it's 6 for the Aggies. Touchdown. As Aaron Vaughns gets the score.
Everything on this drive, Ari, was just entirely too easy for the Aggies. That time it was a busted coverage. Left Aaron Vaughns wide open in the back of the end zone. He was so wide open, Jordan Love actually almost underthrew that ball to get there.
First career receiving touchdown for Aaron Vaughns. And before the extra point attempt, got whistles on the play and a flag.
False start. Offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
5-play drive. They go 60 yards in just 54 seconds.
It's way too easy and way too simple for the Golden Eagles to give that up. The real interesting thing for the Golden Eagles, at least on defense, is that they've switched systems this year. They got a new coaching staff that came in. They used to run the 4-3. Now they're in the 4-2-5, which means you got an extra secondary defender on the field. It hasn't boded well, at least in the first 3 weeks, in terms of the change for the Golden Eagles. But let's talk Aggies here. Look at this clean pocket for Jordan Love. No one in his face whatsoever. And Raymond running an inside slant route. No one into the frame, and then easy pickings right here. Busted coverage on the outside. You see Josh Popular tried to get a hand on it. Arian Bonds wide open in the back of that end zone.
There you see the scoring summary. My first career receiving touchdown. Special moment for the senior from California, former JUCO guy. Now there's 3:13 on the clock. If you're the Golden Eagles, you should have at least one goal that the Aggies do not touch the football.
They don't get the ball again.
Yeah.
You really want to help yourself here. Put together a nice drive and cap it off with some points before halftime. Because you also have to remember, the Golden Eagles are getting the ball back in the second half. So if they can put some points up on the board, they can start to steal back and inch their way back into this game.
Let's take a look at what's going on Instagram. We've gotten some great pics, lots of people watching the football game with their #1 fan. Look, she won't stop yelling, "Go Aggies" at the screen. Proud daddy. Bangs McCoy 93.
I love that hashtag Denver Aggies.
That is nice. Nice touch.
Look.
1st and 10. On the ground, it's Goldsmith, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. And again, Leilua, and he's been everywhere.
He's been outstanding, but they're giving him gaping holes that time. Dally Cole, the center, missed his responsibility and his assignment. Left Leilua wide open to come into the middle as we continue to get some more of these instas. The cat loves football. Almost remind you of the cat of Austin Powers.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, they take it straight from the set.
Yeah.
Mr. Bigglesworth.
That's right, Mr. Bigglesworth. I love it.
I gotta say, I'm having a little bit of sympathy for Andrew Goldsmith because he's barely getting the football, and he's got guys right in front of him.
His defensive line is just playing so well. Logan Lee that time on the outside was able to use his hands and get leverage and keep the half of his outside free where he could easily make a tackle. Nowhere for Andrew Goldsmith to go. And I guess that really has been sort of the one unfortunate thing, because we talked about Andrew Goldsmith at the beginning of the broadcast. He's a guy that was a returning starter for them last year, their leading rusher from a year ago. He's really good if you give him some opportunities, but there haven't been very many opportunities, especially since early in the game.
Well, you know how I said the only goal for the Golden Eagles was not to get the football back? Utah State, other ideas, they use the timeout here. They'd like to get the ball back one more time.
It's a smart job by Matt Wells and company. Give themselves an opportunity to keep the foot on the gas and further extend this lead before halftime. But I can tell you, Matt Wells thinking the same thing we're thinking. The Golden Eagles get the ball on the other side. So we got to make sure that we take all of the momentum going into halftime.
That's the 6th tackle for a loss in the half. They are getting into the backfield. Keith Patterson, the defense coordinator, has really streamlined this defense. They are all over the field. Fisher, that's a tough throw moving to your left, and it's incomplete. And Utah State doesn't have to use a timeout because the clock stops on an incomplete pass. So still 2:25 remaining. And keep in mind, their last touchdown for the Aggies only took 54 seconds.
The Golden Eagles just aren't giving themselves really an opportunity to rest on defense either, because they just can't get anything going on offense. You know, I wonder why, at least offensively, that they don't start going to that bootleg a little bit more. Give Bailey Fisher an opportunity outside to where he can decide whether he runs it or he's got one read. Just give him something to start to build a little bit of his confidence, because right now, if you're Bailey Fisher, you've got nothing to hang your hat on going into the second half.
And the punt from Maynard, and here comes the return, and it's Jordan Nathan. No one's gonna touch him. Touchdown, Aggies. 59-yard punt return for Jordan Nathan. They got a kickoff return for a touchdown last Saturday.
2 weeks
in a
in a row.
return. I'm telling you, Matt Wells emphasizes special teams, and they are one of the best in the Mountain West year after year in special teams. Eberle on for the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. And it's 45-6.
Well, all right, none of this happens without good blocking. You just can't get there without good blocking. Watch Michael Anulalu, number 28. He's the one who's going to make that key block on the outside, which gives him an opportunity to get up the field some, and then it just becomes a foot race. And we've talked a lot about this for the Aggies. They have sprinters on their team. They have guys with track speed on their team. Anytime there's a foot race, especially in this game, the Aggies are going to win it. What an incredible job on special teams the last 2 weeks
now,
for Matt Wells to come.
You were so good that you didn't play special teams, and that's not, I'm not holding it against you.
I know that we would say too good that I didn't play special teams.
But you did.
Maybe didn't have the skill set that some of the other guys had for special teams.
But Matt Wells emphasized it so much that if you play an all special team, you eat first.
It's a good look.
So if you're on 4 special teams, you eat first. You want to play on 3 special, you eat next. 2 special, you eat next. 1, that's the way it goes.
Well, I tell you, at Notre Dame, in the NFL with the Texans and with the Broncos, the offensive linemen and the defensive linemen eat first.
Okay.
They barge their way in there. But I think I like what Matt Wells is trying to do. He's trying to show you that, emphasize that special teams is very important.
It can win you games.
It certainly shows itself in every game that they play.
No chance at a return there for Cunningham. Now here we've got some more Instagram pics. Oh, another pup. See, dogs can even wear Utah State polo shirts. Let's go Aggies. Taylor for Bush said that might be my new favorite dog photo, but then you get the cute kid in there. He's got the Go Aggies plate behind him. People put some thought into these pictures.
Yeah, there's really like a setup there, you know. There's some planning that's involved. It's impressive.
It's Goldsmith, and Goldsmith makes a couple guys miss, picks up 11 yards. They've got plenty of time. 2 minutes to go in the half. They haven't shown off the ability to be explosive offensively, but now would be a good time for it.
I'm certainly excited to see Goldsmith get a little bit of space out there on the outside. Actually could have been a little bit of a longer run had he used his block from Cam Singletary a little better. Could have sprung himself for a few more yards, but right now, the Golden Eagles desperately need to get some points on the board before half.
Right back to Goldsmith, and he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Devin Anderson, 91, junior from Baltimore, Maryland, able to get into the backfield.
Well, with about a minute left in this second quarter, Ari, I want to throw this out to Facebook. Kristen's going to talk to Matt Wells at halftime. What's some good questions for him? What do they want to know? What do the fans want to know who are watching the game? We'd love to see in the comment section what you'd like Christian to be able to ask.
My first question would be, is your goal to drop 100 on?
How many points are you going to score,
Yeah.
Coach?
On the ground. Not too much doing right there. David Gist. The officials come in to stop the clock here. But no one's told the person working the clock. The clock's still ticking. Now they got it stopped at 28. I think they're going to have to add more time.
A few seconds back.
Yeah.
A little miscommunication there.
You know, well, I'm really looking forward to what Kristen Balboni has coming up at the half, which she's just so talented.
She's working hard.
Yeah, do you know about the cookies at the half here?
Ooh.
Yeah, I know you got a little sweet tooth, my friend. Yes.
That's right.
I think you're going to be excited.
My dentist would say so as well.
I think you're going to enjoy the cookie. Maybe when we come back, you can break it down for us.
Okay, we can talk about this. But if they have chocolate chip cookies, it's over.
Look, I don't want to tell you in advance what you're going to get, but I can promise you you're going to like it.
Is it a thing where I can put some in a to-go thing to be able to?
I think you might want to make sure everybody gets one first.
Okay.
And then if there are extras, Darius,
right.
maybe you can have one.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
And if anybody out there has a good cookie recipe for Darius, he's always interested.
Guys, Guys, who's bringing me a cookie?
I'll throw it down to you like a Frisbee. And you can catch it.
I'll look for it.
Yes.
I'll look for it. Although with my skills, I don't know if I'm going to get it.
I'll wrap it up so even if it hits the ground, you'll be fine.
That's what I'm talking about.
Play the 5-second
Teamwork.
rule. You're good.
Teamwork.
That's what we have here. Teamwork on Stadium.
We work together really well, but I tell you, in all three facets, the Aggies have really been working well together here in this first half.
Some of the fans I see on Facebook think they're going to put up at least 75. Ken Matheson says 74.
Well, I'd be curious to kind of know what the most points are that they've put up.
Well, we have an outstanding crew. Someone could find out the most points
let's
ever
figure
scored
out
in a
what
game.
that is. And see if Matt Wells.
If they gave it to me in the form of a multiple choice question, I might be able to offer a guess. Okay, 70 points is what I'm told is the all-time high. That's in real danger.
Yeah, no, that's in reach for sure.
Rippon has thrown for at least 300 yards in a game, which is tied for the most in program history. Aaron Wade from Utah State is the Defensive Player of the Week. The senior safety made a career-best 10 tackles and picked off 2 passes in Utah State's 60-13 victory over New Mexico State. Dominic Everly from Utah State is the Special Teams Player of the Week. The junior place kicker connected on a Mountain West single-game record 6 field goals and also tied 2 NCAA records for most points scored by a kicker in a single game and the most field goals made of at least 50 yards with 3. From the Mountain West Network studio, I'm Jesse Curtis.
Thank you very much, Jesse. That's a good look at the Maverick Stadium. Checking out the press box. 45-6 our score at the half. We hope everyone's having a great Thursday night, or Wolf alongside the great one, Darius Walker. All right, Darius, what'd you learn in the first half?
Well, we learned that the Utah State Aggies they have the makings of a good football team. We knew after week 1 against Michigan State that it's a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Week 2 against New Mexico State, blew them out. And then to come out here and to handle business in the first half, it just adds a cherry on top of what Matt Wells and his staff have been able to do early in the season.
Matt Wells is the man when it comes to short weeks. 8-1, and it looks like it's going to be 9-1. Let's take a look at highlights from the first half.
Well, it really started on defense. That's the way they got things going. It was Gage Ferguson. Watch him break on the football here. Lovely. Got 2 feet down. That's an NFL catch. And my book, he does a nice job. And then they got it done on the ground. Gerald Bright was able to get into the end zone from 5 yards out. And then the big run from Darwin Thompson. He's going to take this 64 yards all the way to the end zone. He's over 100 for the night. So this offensive line has certainly been gelling. But then Jordan Love, he said, you know what? I got to get in on this too. Let me run it into the end zone. From 2 yards out, Jordan Love scores on the outside touchdown. He does an excellent job, and then he wanted to start to do it in the air. Kavon Scarver, a guy whose name we called for special teams last week. Now we call his name in the passing game. And then, of course, special teams. We talked about it all day. They show you why they're one of the best in the business, especially in the Mountain West, as Jordan Nathan takes the punt return all the way to the end zone. But what's important about this, especially for Matt Wells and his staff, is they talk about 3 facets. They got it done in all 3 facets early in the first half as we get a look at all the numbers.
Jordan Love, 21 of 26, 236 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. Darwin Thompson, you got to like that. Yards per carry, 6 carries for 107 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Nathan in the return game, 3 returns for 74 yards and a touchdown. So if we look at things, big picture here, if you're Tennessee Tech, what are you trying to get out of the second half?
Well, I think for both teams in a game like this, when you're looking at the second half, first you want to get out with no injuries, right? This game has gotten to the point to where it's likely over. There's no way for the Golden Eagles to come back. So you want to be clean the second half. But they got to get some momentum on offense. They haven't scored any points today for Tennessee Tech. They got a young quarterback. In my mind, even though the game's out of reach, you're still going to see Bailey Fisher out there. He needs as many reps as he could possibly get since he's just a true freshman. So I expect them to come out with their first team offense probably through the rest of the game, regardless of what the Aggies do.
Yeah, they got to take advantage of this opportunity to play under the lights. And now let's get a word from Stadium. Let's go to Kristen.
Coach, I want to start with the first half. What did you like that you saw that you think you guys can build on for this second half from your guys?
I mean, our guys are playing hard. We're not playing very well, and that's been our MO in the first 2 games. We've got to play better. We got to line up better. We got to tackle better. We got to communicate better. Got to get some first downs on offense and just execute a little bit. You know, our guys are competing hard. We're just not playing as well as we need to play at times. And this is a very good football team. You make a mistake, you're going to give up points or not be able to get a first down, plain and simple.
What was the message that you hammered home in there in the locker room for the second half?
We're going to act like the score is 0-0. It's about Tennessee Tech trying to get better. We're trying to get our football team better. We have not played a conference game yet. We've got to go out this half. We're in full uniform, representing the Golden Eagles, and we're going to give it 100% these last 2 quarters.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Guys, back to you.
You could hear the passion. I mean, he's a Tennessee Tech alum.
Yeah,
I mean,
the frustration with just the performance. I don't think it's any surprise that they're not winning after the first half against the Aggies, but they just should have been playing a cleaner football game. And he's right. We saw drop passes. We saw many missed tackles. So we're just talking about the fundamentals here that the Golden Eagles need to play and need to show some pride here in the second half. So I love the enthusiasm from Coach Alexander, but most importantly, 0-0 is exactly how the Golden Eagles should be thinking.
Well, let's take a look at the Mountain West weekend preview. Hawaii has been the surprise team thus far. You're going to have to get up early to catch that one at 10 a.m. Very interested to see Boise State at Oklahoma State. 2 ranked teams. That one ought to be fun. Wyoming at home. They're still looking for the right formula, the Cowboys. Colorado State at Florida, and that deal was, Jim McElvain went back and forth. That's how that thing all got happened, and McElvain's not there anymore. But Colorado State coming off one of their best wins in recent memory, beating Arkansas, and then to wrap it up, San Jose State taking on number 20, Oregon. And Oregon State, Nevada, New Mexico versus New Mexico State. That's a great rivalry game. Prairie View A&M and UNLV. Fresno State takes on a UCLA team that's a little down right now.
Yeah,
Fresno State,
well. They got a chance there.
That'd be a good one. And Arizona State and San Diego State. And San Diego State still hasn't played their best football yet this year.
And unfortunately, they lost their starting quarterback, Chapman. He's out for at least 3 to 4 weeks, they said, maybe even longer with an MCL sprain. So it'll be interesting to see when they get him back. But what we want you to do is to join this conversation on Facebook. You see the hashtag. You've been using it all game on Instagram. But tell us who in the Mountain West you're excited to see outside of the Aggies. Who are some of the other teams? I tell you, for this weekend specifically, all right, I am very interested in that Boise State, Oklahoma State game.
Well, it's just so important for the Mountain West to
really
get a win against a Power 5 school on the road.
Big time. Right.
Big deal for the conference.
And you want to get yourself in the conversation of some of the top teams in the country. Right. Boise State's number 17 right now.
And they could, if they go undefeated or something, you're talking about a team that could be the best team out of the group of 5.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, for sure. Now, there's going to be a lot of questions if and when that happens for Boise State. If they were able to win out, should they be in the conversation for the college football playoffs? Who kind of knows at that point? It depends on what happens around. But they certainly can make a case for themselves starting this weekend. But let's keep some of these Instagram photos going.
This. The kids are all yelling, touchdown Aggies, and they've had a few opportunities to say that. Plenty of touchdowns for the Aggies. Go Uncle Matt and Uncle Luke. Like that. Look at that. They're decked out. Last time the Aggies scored 45 points in the first half against Boise State.
Speaking of, huh?
Yeah, back in 2015.
Boise State was number 23 in the country again then. The Aggies certainly doing their part, but a guy's name who I expected to call a little more that we didn't, at least from a field goal perspective, is Dominique Ebelman. He hadn't had as many opportunities as he did last week.
Yeah, but if he watches the beginning of our broadcast, I think that for many years to come, he can just hit rewind.
Here's my question to you, Ari, since he's had such an incredible week. Is it the time right now for him to run for governor, mayor? Does he have a chance in Utah? Does he have a chance?
He's a German citizen, so I'm not sure he can run for elected office. I don't know what the rules are in Logan. I don't know if he's become a dual citizen. I think you have to have some form of citizenship in order to be a politician.
Well, that's certainly a good question for Facebook. Would you vote for him? Would you vote for a German citizen.
If somebody on here says they'd vote for him, I'd like that. So anybody out there wants to vote for a kicker to be your next mayor, let us know.
Just saying.
Got a new quarterback in the game, Luke Ward, redshirt junior. He's from Tennessee.
Well, that's also a little surprising here, Ari, in terms of not giving Bailey Fisher the opportunity to continue to grow as your starting quarterback.
Well, this guy's got to hold everything. He's a big, strong guy, way less of a threat to run the football. And they've got a package of plays for him. I mean, this may just be a series. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, and here's the other reality about it. You're still evaluating. You're always evaluating if you're Dwayne Alexander and his staff on both sides of the ball. So Bailey Fisher hasn't looked great. The team certainly hasn't helped him out. But you give another guy an opportunity just to see what he can do.
Mungale comes in, and he's a little banged up right here.
Looks like that almost could be a stinger on that. Right shoulder or arm, something somewhere. We talked about this at the halftime, Ari. You don't want injuries now for either team. I mean, this is just, everyone's going to continue to play hard, protect yourself, but this is the last thing you want to see on either side of the ball as a guy go down and the game's completely out of reach. Let's just take another look at this from Mungale. Yeah, it looks like he got shoulder to shoulder there, took the brunt of it, and sometimes you can get that stinger there in that shoulder. But defensively for the Aggies, they have been all over the Golden Eagles here in this game from start to here early in the third quarter. The new quarterback in Luke Ward, since he has that size, we're told he really has a strong arm and the ideal size in the backfield. Maybe they'll give him an opportunity to air it out in this game. Third down and longs, one time to do it.
Yep, 3rd and 10. Luke Ward, they're going to roll him out. Pressure coming. Ward, the throw, he had a receiver open, but he short hops it to Josh Cunningham.
You have to wonder in terms of how many reps he got in practice, how warm is he coming out from not playing in the first half. It's a little bit of a process that quarterbacks have to go through to be warm and to be ready to go. He short hopped that one. Had an open wide receiver and a nice look on the bootleg.
Could you explain to me why Bailey Fisher had a yellow penny on right there? I mean, it's not practice. They can touch him, right?
Maybe some fool trying to fool him, you know? I'm so used to those jerseys in practice for sure.
Maynard to punt, the Aussie. He's got a bunch of friends and family who've been watching. And Nathan's not going to touch this one. And it will be down at the 38-yard line. And I've heard we have a clever Instagram post following the 36-yard punt.
Let's just take a look.
Best way to wait out a hurricane, watching USU football. Oh, look at that. I think they got 3 things going on in the one post. Stay safe, more importantly.
Yeah, that has been pretty unfortunate. V St. Louis, maybe?
Okay, we got a new quarterback for Utah State as well. Columbi is in the game. Freshman from Hollywood, Florida, and they go to the reverse. It's working. Down the sideline. Fane forces him out of bounds as Devin Tompkins showing off the speed.
What's a wonderful job by Tompkins of making something out of nothing. They do the double reverse, snuffed out by the Golden Eagles on defense. But Thompson's able to use his athleticism and just reverse field and outrun guys. And that's really been the running trend, pun intended there, Ari. The running trend for the Aggies on offense is they've just have been able to outrun all the Golden Eagles on defense.
Quarterback keeper there. Columbi picks up 7 yards on the play.
Now the staff, they really like Henry Columbi. When you talk to them about him, he redshirted last year, saw his first action last week, but they think he has a good, solid arm, and he has a little bit of mobility at his size. So they're excited to see what type of player he can grow into, but it's important in games like this that you get him game reps. And that's what's great for Matt Wells and his staff. They can be able to get some guys some game reps.
Trey Miller in the game at running back. They fake it to him. Pass is complete. Boy, Boy, this offense is moving the ball any way they want. Another first down for the Aggies.
Well, as Coach Alexander told Kristen at halftime, if you're the Golden Eagles, on defense, on offense, it's about pride for your program now. You got to play tough. You got to play through the whistle. So we're still expecting to see guys flying around the ball in white as this game continues.
Trey Miller gets it to the 20-yard line. Tim Collins makes the tackle. Preseason all Ohio Valley Conference.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate we haven't called his name a little more in this game.
A shifty move on the outside. Devin Tompkins continues to flash, Darius. They get the makings of a player. A freshman from Fort Myers, Florida.
He's elusive there because Shannon Fain, the strong safety, had him in his tracks with a little wiggle, a little stanky leg, make a miss.
Look at the rushing yards, 223 rushing yards already for the Aggies. Miller picks up another first down.
I think the other thing that's important here too, as the Aggies are getting second string guys in, giving guys opportunity to get reps, you still got to play through the whistle if you're the Aggies as well. You want to show up when you get the opportunity to play, because I can tell you, Ari, from being back up at a variety of different levels, when you get chances to play late in games because it's out of reach, the coaches are still evaluating that to see if you get an opportunity to play maybe when the game's a little closer the next week and the following week. So you only get limited opportunities to play in games for some of these younger players. So you got to make the most of it, even though the game is out of reach, which is a little tough to do sometimes.
Makes me question some of your coaches if you were ever a backup.
Well, I'm just,
I get the point that you're making.
I'm just trying to say.
I mean, you got talent. Put them in the game.
Put them in the game. A lot of opportunities to play. I'm just saying.
I'm not normally this nice to you, but we're on the air, so I figured,
just saying
give you some love. The push, he's in. Touchdown, Aggies. Trey Miller gets in the end zone for the first time this season.
And all right, this is exactly indicative of what Matt Wells and his staff are all about. You run a touchdown if you're Trey Miller, and then you stay out there for the kick. You play special teams regardless of who you are and what you do. And we'll take another look at this as Trey Miller gets inside. Wonderful job blocking there by Jacob South, number 78. He's the backup right tackle. He's going to get up inside and take away that secondary defender. Which gives just enough space for Trey Miller to be able to get into the end zone.
All right, Kristen, I heard you got something good for us. What's up?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I'm still keeping an eye on all of these comments right here. I love this one from Troy. He says, no quit in the Eagles. Respect. And then John says he's watching from 30,000 feet somewhere between Dallas and Spokane. That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Keep those comments coming. But, guys, we're going to have some fun with this, because the one thing I realized when I started the game over there in the herd, the student section, is that these people like to dress up. Actually, I noticed it Saturday night when I was here. So we have gone around, our student correspondent, Paige Zamora, has gone around taking some pictures of some of the best fan costumes. We're going to have a Facebook vote right now on some of them. I mean, first of all, look at the chickens. They were here on Saturday night, too. The chicken coop, that's one of the contenders. We've got Captain Bluebeard. I like that right there. So he's one option. He really went all out with the hair. Okay, so now this guy, Team America, Paige, our student correspondent, told me that he wears this onesie to every game. I can confirm that he was wearing it on Saturday night. You got to hope he washes the thing. And I know it was hot. It was hot over there
he's
earlier.
wearing it every week.
Yeah. So, I mean, twice a week this week. And then I love these guys, the chicken coop. I think those are great. So they always have a great time over there in the herd. Ari, I know that you've seen them a lot. Coach Wells loves the fact that all those thousands of fans are over there. I like this guy, too. A little war paint action going on. Oh, there's our Team America guy. So vote for who you think has the best costumes, guys. I don't know. I might go with the chickens right now.
I'm all over the chickens.
It's three of them.
Yeah, it's
three
coordination, you know?
Look at that.
Group effort.
Another
nice.
costume that's got to be hot when the sun is shining down right at the beginning of the game here.
You see a couple of the chickens have loosened up a little bit. The zippers come down a little bit, trying to cool off a little bit.
Casual chickens.
Second half here.
So submit those votes on Facebook. We're going to be keeping track. We're going to award that very important award of best fan costume tonight here.
Well, the chickens made me think about food, and I do want America to know that Darius got his cookie, and it was chocolate chip.
It was, and it was delicious. Now, the only thing that I will say, the Frisbee throw. We got to do the Frisbee throw down.
Oh, you didn't catch it? I wonder who has it.
The only thing I will say about the cookies is I would have loved to have had mine warmed up a bit. That's all. I'm just throwing it out there. In terms of my taste buds, I got to be honest. It was delicious, though.
It was nice. I could have had it warm. It's gotten a little chillier in the booth.
You see? Yeah, I noticed you put a little long sleeve on.
That's the SoCal
the guys
in me.
up there in the booth are talking about it's a little chilly up there and your cookie's not warmed up. I didn't bring a jacket, guys.
Well, it does look pretty bad for us.
Welcome to the Darius and Ari show. We get off topic occasionally.
All right, we got some votes for the chickens already.
Go
Glenn
chickens.
is saying Big Blue's got the best costume. The mascot does have a great one. Throw that out there. A lot of votes for the chickens.
All right, back to football. Luke Ward in at quarterback gives to Goldsmith. Goldsmith across the 33 to the 34-yard line. Given that he hasn't at times had a lot of holes to work with, I think he's done fairly well. Now I got 15 carries for 30 yards. I realize the yards per carry isn't much because he's had guys in the backfield a lot, but he's shown that he can carry the football.
Well, then also making an impact in the passing game, too. We saw him go out at slot wide receiver. He's caught a couple of bubble screens as well. So if you're Andrew Goldsmith, you got to figure out ways to still be impactful in the game. He's certainly showing why he's one of the best players on their team.
Now, Le'i there making a great play. The TCU transfer, we talked about him in the open. He's a player. His brother, Salanoa, was a long snapper here a few years ago. And I think that probably helped a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, when he was transferring from TCU, didn't really have any idea where he was going to go initially, and you talk to Big Bro, hey man, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And he throws out Matt Wells and his staff at Utah State. That's his history. They're certainly excited to have Le'i.
The keeper for Ward, like the play call there from Trey Lamb, because no one was expecting Luke Ward to run the football, and he even throws it a stiff arm.
Yeah, that's the thing that I don't think anyone was expecting was a stiff arm. Looks like Ward's been taking some of Darwin Thompson's class and getting some strength and working in the weight room, because watch this left hand here. Right in the face.
To a linebacker,
right
no
in
less.
the face. Fell
Back
down
it up.
to the ground, too. That's impressive right there from Luke Ward. But this is exactly what Dwayne Alexander and his staff wanted to try to do by inserting a new quarterback in the second half. Can he offer a spark to your team? Right now, so far, so good for the Golden Eagles.
Well, Elliott Shelton was the guy who got stiff armed, and if I were him, when they're watching film, I'd excuse myself to use the restroom
You don't want
at
to see
about
that?
this point in the game.
You just don't want to see that?
I don't think he wants to see that.
He certainly doesn't. But I tell you, the one area I think that the Golden Eagles are certainly going to have to focus on, especially on offense, is really the play calling, mixing things up. Because they had the nice run from Luke Ward there. Then they go right back to it again. You're not fooling anyone the second time. So continuing to mix it up is certainly the Golden Eagles are certainly going to have to do on offense.
The long throw all the way out to the sideline, able to complete it, Seth Huner.
You know, all right, we've been shouting out a lot of the moms and stuff for the Aggies as they've posted on. We've got one here from the Golden Eagles, proud mama of number 75, Sheffer. Nancy Sheffer says hello on Facebook. Certainly love reading the comments for sure. Maybe mama's got some nice cookie recipe that she might be able to share
with you.
With me. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Hook me up, Nancy. Hook me up.
Ward puts it up. Huner can't get to a terrific coverage. Boy, a flag comes in. That can't be pass interference. They were running right next to each other.
Part of the problem there for Chance Nelson was that he did not turn and look for the football.
Pass interference, defense, number 30, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Excuse me, that's Andre Grayson, number 30. He's the one that doesn't look. And when young cornerbacks are getting opportunities to play, this is the first thing that they tell you fundamental-wise, is you've got to turn to look for the football. Excellent job in coverage. He's just got to turn and find it. Otherwise, the officials are going to call that every time.
Luke Ward's done a pretty nice job coming in for the Golden Eagles.
He has offered a spark. He really has. And sometimes it just takes that, it takes a different style of player to come in and do something different that pushes the defense to be off balance.
And Ward's going to keep it. Good vision. Cuts it back. Luke Ward first down and more, and gets inside the 10. It'll be first and goal.
He's certainly providing that spark right now for Luke Ward, but it's the misdirection that really gets the defense off balance. They split him out. Then they got a wide receiver coming across the formation. All eyes went that way. Luke Ward was able to take advantage of the hesitation of the defense, especially in the linebacking core, to be able to pick up some big yardage. He's had a couple of big runs in this series, specifically after being inserted into the game. You have to remember, this is a quarterback that didn't play the first half. So he's coming in cold, offering a very different look and, most importantly, a spark for the Golden Eagles on offense.
Goldsmith cuts it back, gets to the 5.
Guys, like you said, these Tennessee Tech fans are still here supporting their team in the comments. I love this one from Susan Grunwald-Wells. She says, watching our Golden Eagles from Cookeville, they may not be winning, but our student athletes won't quit. Hashtag wings up. Hashtag 7 the linebacker is my graduate assistant. We're seeing a lot of that. This team really, these fans really love this team, and they're still out here on Facebook supporting them.
Oh, they love their football in Tennessee. Again, 63 players on the team are in-state guys. And no place to go there for Gist. So now 3rd and goal. What do you like here, Coach Walker?
Nice job by Chance Harper there. I love the opportunity to give Luke Ward another chance with the football in his hand. He's had a couple of big runs here down this series. Why not give him an opportunity to try to get it into the end zone? But the one thing we saw them do with Bailey Fisher was run that bootleg. Give the QB an opportunity for 1 or 2 reads on the outside or run it. I love that call for Luke Ward here now.
Throw it up. Fight for it, incomplete.
Again, just the creativity some on offense is the one thing that I would certainly say that for the Golden Eagles they need to do. And I'm actually really surprised that they're going for a field goal here, as it is 4th down and short. They just haven't had very many opportunities in the red zone. So the game's out of reach right now. You're not playing possession ball. Take a shot. Learn something new right now about your team, about your second-string quarterback. Give them an opportunity to experience something different. That's the one piece I've really scratched my head is the play calling on offense for the Golden Eagles, but just also how conservative they've been pretty much this entire game.
You don't want to miss the best college football show on Facebook. Catch College Football Weekly, Wednesdays at 7:30. We'll preview the biggest matchups. Take a look back at the top highlights of the week and react to fans' questions and comments. You can catch College Football Weekly every Wednesday at 7:30 only on Facebook. Big news this weekend. We've got canceled games at Virginia Tech, NC State, North Carolina, and South Carolina. We've got other games that had to get moved to Thursday to try to avoid the impact of Hurricane Florence.
Well, certainly say to people to stay safe. I mean, I've got good friends in Raleigh who had to be evacuated in terms of their area, so I certainly get just how dire this situation is, but I also lived through it when I was in Houston with the Texans back in 2008. We had a hurricane, Hurricane Ike at that time, and I lived through it, stayed home. My mom was actually in Houston at the same time, and we had to go into the stairwell into my community. My little townhouse. We had to go into the stairwell and all huddle together because because of the wind, the house was shaking so much. So that was the one place inside the house where it wasn't so rattled, was the stairwell. Pretty scary stuff.
Take me through the decision to stay and as opposed to evacuate?
So at that time, Hurricane Ike wasn't it wasn't the category that this one is, so it wasn't as bad. There actually was they said for a lot of us to really huddle up, so there wasn't these mandatory evacuations that you've seen like down in Raleigh. But it's certainly one of those things where, yeah, you scratch your head sometimes and say, well, should we just get out of here? I mean, my mother just lived through another hurricane in Houston last year where she lost all of her belongings and stuff. Oh. So it's certainly something that affects a lot of people. But you're right. She was lucky that she was not there. She got out of there.
Yeah.
But her house flooded all the way up to about the countertops.
Wow.
And so
scary.
It's one of those things that's very scary, but it's certainly something where people need to be as safe as possible. And everything that I've read, everything that I've seen says get out of there. So evacuate when you can.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And we've seen people on Facebook who are watching while they're waiting for Hurricane Florence. My family, some of them, they're watching this game. They're all in North Carolina. So everyone out there right now, including that picture on Instagram, we hope that you're safe. And if you're able to watch this and take your mind off of some of it while you're keeping safe, we appreciate it. We're glad to have you.
Well, they were just showing that monster pizza from Firehouse, and there were a lot of students getting in on that.
I think we need to get in on that up here. That'd be a nice little trifecta for us. We have some cookies, you know, at halftime. Get ourselves a slice of pizza, too.
You want me?
What's the third thing going to be?
Hang out with Kristen.
I was like, where's he going with this?
All right. I like it.
You know?
Kristen knows Logan better than any of us.
That's the point, man. She's been around. She knows. Maybe.
Uh-oh, ball's out. Golden Eagles recover. Is that really the kicker who got it?
You got to give kicker the credit here.
Zaydan, the kicker. That's got to be the best moment of his football career.
Listen, Aaron Bonds has certainly had a good game today, but ball security late in that run on kick return. And this is one of those things where I can guarantee you for Matt Wells and his staff, when they go into the meeting rooms Friday, next week, whenever it is, they're going to point that play out and say, this is not who we are on special teams.
Luke Ward on the quarterback keeper, loss of 3 on the play. Okay, so Zaydan, keep in mind, he's not the field goal kicker. He's the kickoff specialist. So the thought that he'd have a fumble recovery, he's got to be like, this is the best time ever. We may be losing the game, but I just won.
Get him on the stat sheet for sure. Not to be outdone.
See if the Golden Eagles can capitalize. Ward the throw, and his receiver was not anticipating the throw.
Being able to capitalize off of turnovers is such an important part of football, Ari. So for the Golden Eagles, they got a turnover earlier in the game. We're unable to capitalize. Let's see if they can't figure it out this time, because that is certainly something that's going to bode well for them if they can figure out how to do that tonight when they start conference play in the Ohio Valley.
3rd and long. Get it out to Goldsmith in space, but he started looking upfield before he collected the football. So 4th down. Imagine they'll attempt a pretty significant length field goal, but we've seen their kickers got a strong leg.
I mean, again, I know it's probably slightly counterintuitive at this place in the field. It's just you're trying to learn about your team and put them in positions to where we can figure something out. Let's test things. This is a great opportunity in the second half for the Golden Eagles to test things. In my mind, a field goal doesn't help you. It just doesn't help you learn something about your team. So
Madonia,
very conservative all day.
From 42, has the distance. No good. Left it out to the right. Time for Throwback Thursday. How about Matt Wells? You want to see Matt back in the day? There he is.
Hey, yeah. Is that a VHS?
Betamax, maybe? Look at him. He's looking good.
Looking
quarterback
good out there.
I mean, he's not that old. He graduated from here in '96.
Not that old, right?
No.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not ancient for sure. Well, he is one of five guys,
coaches in the Mountain West coaching their alma mater. Troy Calhoun, the longest tenured coach in the Mountain West, in his 12th year. Jeff Tedford, boy, he turned things around in a hurry.
Yeah, he's in his 2nd year, and probably the biggest story, at least of the Mountain West, is Nick Rolovich in his 3rd season for Hawaii. They've put up 40 points 3 times already.
Former Nevada offensive coordinator is about his alma mater and getting it done.
He's certainly getting it done for sure.
And guys, don't forget on the other side, head coach Dwayne Alexander is coaching at his alma mater too, Tennessee Tech. And you can tell the passion there. They're just these guys that are playing for or coaching for the team that they played for. You feel it, you know how important it is to them. Guys, I do want to do one very quick update on a very important topic from tonight, and that is the winner of the fan contest.
Oh yeah,
very
Hands
important.
down, guys. We asked you which fans had the best costumes here tonight. Guys, it was hands down the winner. Brian Butler, Josh McCracken, Jeremy Young, Alex White. Everyone voted for the chickens on Facebook. And guys, we've had a lot of Facebook comments here tonight. I'll tell you what, the ratio of chicken comments coming in, people are big fans of those guys. There's no doubt about it.
Fan favorites, you gotta love it.
Yeah.
Ari, are you a costume guy, like around Halloween? Do you get yourself involved? Okay, well, what's some of the cool stuff you've done?
Well, I actually did a 10-year run as a caveman. I just liked it because I didn't talk to anybody. I just grunted at people. It was just awesome.
So my wife
and then I kind of was too old for that. So I had to give it back.
Had to give it away. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, if your number starts with a 4, you can't really do the caveman thing.
That makes a lot of sense.
How about you?
Makes a lot of sense. So my wife and I, we try to do co-costumes.
Oh, boy.
And so one of the things I've tried to push for but haven't had any success yet is I want to be the handyman and she's the flashlight.
Okay. I haven't heard that one before.
A little unorthodox for sure. She wants
Are you going to pelt her, just tuck her in your belt loop?
Tuck her in there, walk her around.
I got to see.
Certainly a good move. If she'd have it her way, she'd be a pirate and I'd be a parrot and put on a parrot costume.
I think she'd like to do anything where you were the subject of a lot of ridicule and jokes.
Fair enough.
Yeah. She's like, I've heard too many good things about this guy. Let's put him in his place. All right, 2nd is short. Columbia remains in at quarterback. Jordan Love, his night ended after 1 half of football. Justin Hervey, number 34, senior from Beaumont, Texas.
And this is really the cool thing if you're Matt Wells in Utah State. So many young players getting an opportunity to play right now. A lot of coaches will tell you that the most important thing is recruiting, but also growth of your players. And the only way that young guys really get an opportunity to grow is if they get game reps.
Right.
So when you can do that early in the 3rd quarter, put young players in a lot of different situations on the field, 3rd and short, 4th and short, get them in the goal line situation, it's such a great experience builder for some of those young players.
Wait and see what the flag is. The catch was made by Devin Hextall. Just his 2nd catch of the season. We'll see if it stands. Giving this one some serious consideration.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist. Offense, number 11, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, 2nd down.
Well, that's not going to make Coach very happy. Aaron Vaughn's the guilty party. There he is.
After that fumble, too, that he had on the kick return. So Vaughn's not having the best 2nd half. These are the things that get spotlighted from the coaching staff the next week in the meeting rooms. They say, this is the type of stuff, regardless of what the score is in the game, you can't play like this. And that's the thing that I think is most important, Ari, for all the players on the field, whether it's starters or young players. All of this goes on your resume.
Yep.
Coaches don't really think about what's 52-9 or this game's out of reach. It's all a resume builder for you. So if you're out there not playing well or not going as hard as you probably could, you will get exposed. Most importantly, it'll be on your resume.
The tape never lies, right?
Does not lie.
DJ Nelson, they're saying for the moment he got his feet in. Let's take a closer look.
Nice job throwing on the run there by Columbia.
Got
Nelson
it, one
get the
foot
1
down.
foot down.
Oh, yeah. That's catch.
It looks like it.
Beautiful.
Nice job. Nice body control here, too. Understanding where he is on the field.
I mean, he's from
Slow
right
down
here
and
in
catch
Logan.
that.
Senior having a nice moment.
We're downfield. Offense,
Oh, but
number
it's coming
64. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
And that's unfortunate that they took that away from DJ Nelson. He's getting a lot of opportunities here. He's a quarterback last year, so he needs as many opportunities, as many reps as he can get. But let's jump back in to the Instagram. I love it. Best costume. 7-week-old Big Blue.
Just 7 weeks. Already got it going.
Well, like a lot of that is for the parents, you know. My son,
I think he's got a couple of Notre Dame onesies, doesn't he?
Does. He's got some onesies. Yep, he's at that 7-week mark too, so he's really young. But I also dressed him up in a lot of Nike and Air Jordan stuff because I'm a big Jordan fan.
Well, see, my fiance is just smarter than everybody. So my little sister, who's a Philadelphia Eagles fan, as am I, proud Eagles fans, she married a New York Giants fan, which is hard to believe.
Yeah,
you
sure.
can like anyone who likes the Giants. But my fiance
right.
got their daughter a onesie that was half Eagles, half
Ooh,
Giants.
a half.
That's going
half
the extra
and half.
mile.
That is.
I mean, that's, you know, that's a nice touch.
You know, looking out for everyone. It warms everyone's heart.
Now, I wanted to burn half of it, but they said that seemed inappropriate.
Could you imagine when they got that in the
charred
mail?
remains of one half. The Eagles side is just pristine. When you're a fan of the defending Super Bowl champs, you'd be like, you know what, go ahead and have half of it.
Oh, is that what it is? It's like a charity case?
Yeah. I mean, they had the number 2 pick in the draft. That's all you need to know.
Well, they certainly looked good last week. Had a big win.
I thought they lost to the Jaguars last week. See the total yards, 511 tonight. Tennessee Tech just hasn't had much of an answer for him. Nelson. And he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th down.
Well, something I'm going to start to think about a little bit, Ari, as we get close to this 4th quarter is who the player of the game is. You know, in my opinion, I'll have my opinion, but let's throw that out to Facebook and to the comment section. Who do you think for the Aggies is the player of the game?
I'm just going to go ahead and say I got Darwin Thompson.
You got Darwin? Okay.
Yeah, I thought that 64-yard run was pretty special.
107 yards, 17-yard average per rush.
Jordan Love
pretty good.
Could get some love. Send in your votes, Facebook player of the game. We need to know. Oh, we split it on Saturday. We got to have a double winner.
I mean, no one really likes, you know, ties. It's just, it's not.
Hey, I didn't. Wasn't my call.
You said we, so you
because we are all in this together.
In there.
Yeah, I wasn't on the game. Little reverse. Oh, nice little cutback, and here we go. Cam Singletary. See, unfortunately, the public address announcer is calling it Derek Moore, who's the injured linebacker. But that's what the double numbers get you. Somebody needs to go over to his little office up here
and say, hey, man, that's Cam Singletary.
I've been burned by double numbers before, many times.
DJ Wykes, the tight end that time, made a terrific block on the outside to give Singletary that opportunity to get up to the next level.
Well, that should be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Utah State continues to dominate. They lead 52-9, and let's get a word from Stadium. All right, 2nd and 7 for the Aggies. Quarterback keeper. Columbia showing off his athleticism. Gets it inside the 5 where it'll be 1st and goal.
Really sticking that foot in the ground and getting upfield. That's an excellent job by Columbia, recognizing that the defense was over-levered to his right side. He took it backside and was able to pick up some big yards.
feeling so good about it, he's going to try to do it again. He does not get in. He's just short.
See if we can't take another look at this. I'm going to fake that off to Walker and then try to get around on the outside. But an excellent job tracking there by the Golden Eagles.
You know, Jake Warwick changed his number. He was 47. They put him in 3. Something happened to his jersey. That was Warwick on the play. Yeah, his jersey got ripped.
That was a nice job by him of stopping Columbia before he got to the end zone.
It's Walker for the touchdown.
Well, I'm certainly going to say it, Ari. Walker with the touchdown sounds great. Something about that just works, but a nice job from Walker on that series. Running the football, he had a couple of big runs there.
Hey, and more importantly, it was his first career touchdown.
It's a big deal.
Walker to Walker, showing him some love.
It's a pretty big deal. It's a good job by the young man there. But these are those moments that we talked about a little in the third quarter, Ari, is these moments where young players can get opportunities to play. Now, this is classic Matt Wells again. Walker scores a touchdown. He's going out on the kickoff team. It's just the way this system is built, and you have to respect just the emphasis that Matt Wells and his staff put on special teams. There's a reason they have no special teams coordinators, because everyone is involved. It really is a team effort. Well, let's go down to Kristen. I hear she's got a special guest.
That's what we're hearing.
I have got a special guest indeed, guys. This is Paige Zamora. She's been our student correspondent all week. She's actually going to be our student correspondent for all of our Utah State games. She did it a little bit for us last year as well. First of all, this girl worked so hard. She went out and shot stuff with our social producer. She went out and took all those pictures. The pictures of the chickens, that was Paige. She went out and found, you've done such a great job for us. How has it been covering it from a social media perspective this week? You've been running Instagram, pictures, Facebook, all of it.
I've had such a blast. You know, here at Utah State, we like to have a lot of fun, and it's been really fun to kind of figure out what I wanted to post for people who are watching from out of state, alumni. I have friends and family that are watching, so just wanted to give them something they could enjoy.
Hi, Paige's friends and family. Now, you went and took the pictures of the best fan costumes, which we said that was something we wanted to try. The chickens overwhelmingly won. Can you get a message to them that they were a big hit on Facebook and we love their costumes?
And I'll have them watch this. They will love that. They said they were up late and they wanted to wear something crazy to the game, so they were at Walmart and they found them and they were really excited.
Well, now they're going to have to wear them forever, I think. And, okay, so one last thing that I got to ask you about. You went out and shot some footage for us last Saturday's game, and you came back with this picture, and I have never seen this before on a campus. Everyone on Facebook, I want to know about this. Guys upstairs, I want to know about this. Hammocking. It's where they just stack hammocks all over. Well, first of all, what is that?
So it's a recreational activity. People here at Utah State love it. We love anything outdoors because we have the beautiful mountains around us. And they're hammocks. You string them from trees, you can stack them, you can find different places, and it's really just a unique way to relax. I find people doing it in between classes all the time. It's just a really classic Utah State thing they do here.
I absolutely love it. Paige, thank you so much. You're the best.
Well, the question
really
I have on the
fun.
hammocking, Ari, is the person who's on the top. How relaxing is that for them? Because, you know, like, just break it down for me. I mean, I understand why you do it. It seems like something fun and cool to do for sure. But relaxing, I don't know if I would call it that if you're way at the top.
Well, unless you have an engineer putting the hammocks up.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel
seems
like
unsettling to me. Yeah, okay, you hang a hammock, and then you look at these beautiful mountains.
Yeah.
Seems like a great time, as long as you can be sure the hammock is secure.
That's the thing, is it secure for sure? But what a beautiful place this is. I always
amazing.
love doing games here.
I loved it when they joined the Mountain West. It's been 6 years to come to Logan.
It has certainly been fantastic. And Ari, I got to go to the comment section because you'll appreciate this since I was wrong in this. Norma Peterson. She says she's 84 watching the game. So right now, 84 as the oldest member we see watching this game. We have watching this game right now. Shout out to Norman.
Going down the field. Incomplete.
Luke Ward still in the game here, still trying to get those valuable reps. 10 minutes left. And Ari, I can't remember, did we find out what the most score is that the highest score
70,
that the Aggies have
70
put up?
is what I've been told.
Okay.
Third down's been a problem for the Golden Eagles, just 1 for 13. Ward held on to the ball too long, and he's sacked. Give credit to the guys in the back end. That was a coverage sack.
Well, it was a nice job initially by DJ Worthy, the backup running back. He's number 32. Laid a good block, but just too much time in the pocket for Luke Ward. And that's one of those mistakes where you have a conversation with your quarterback and say, you got to have a time clock in your head. 1,000, 1,000. If the ball's not gone, you got to tuck it and run. You can't take a big sack.
And give credit to the sack, Chase Nelson, the brother of DJ Nelson, both local products. Not sure that was the way Maynard wanted the punt to look, but there was no chance at a return. All right, votes have been tallied. Our Facebook player of the game. Can I get a drum roll, please?
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
And that's all just in one half.
Yeah, you got to remember that is in 2 quarters of play. 236 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown as well. He's had a terrific day. And I think what's most impressive about it is we're seeing the growth. He started against Michigan State, had a good game, played much better last week against New Mexico State, and then comes out here and puts on the performance in the first half that he did. You have to be excited if you're Matt Wells and staff, because your quarterback is playing well, but he's getting better week to week to week. So that's got to bode well, because they haven't even gotten into Mountain West Conference play yet.
All right, oldest and youngest. All right, 2-month-old baby girl staying up late. That's going to be tough to beat.
She's up. All right, 2 months. Wow.
All right, and another one that's 2 months old. She's watching her daddy's game, Devin Tompkins' little one.
Hey, all right.
Dad as #1 fan. 3-day-old Aggie
That's
fan.
got to be the winner.
Unless we get one from the hospital, that one's going to win. If someone takes a shot
from the hospital, yeah, with a newborn.
Oh, this one's not even. This
impressive.
one's still working on things. It's not even out yet. Watching the game.
Oh, congratulations
32 weeks
to Erica.
pregnant. Congratulations, Erica. That's awesome.
And family.
Moving and kicking like crazy. The 3 days going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, that's a tough one
Yeah.
there. 3 days. Wow. That's pretty cool. Well, on the old side, remember we had Norma. She says she's 84. So we've got 84 on the top end, and now 3 days. Or still in the belly. Still
in the belly, yeah. That's quite a range we've got there. So
Always
what'd you
fun
go
to
with
read
for
the
the
comments.
oldest? You went 72?
I said 72.
And I
You
said
went
90. Well, if it was Price is Right, I would lose because
you're
you can't.
over.
I over,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure this is Price is Right. I was closer, and I'm still holding out that there's a 90-year-old watching.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
All right.
They're just waiting to see the other ones come in and be like, ha ha.
Well, the other question I have is where we got on the countries. We've gotten
Yeah,
up
Kristen,
to
where did we
7.
get to? We were
gotten up
7
to
in the first half.
I know your mark that you wanted was 10.
I was just told by Marty, our outstanding director, that there is a 92-year-old that's watching. 92. You can go check it. Check it.
Yard penalty from the previous spot.
Guys, country count, I got to be honest. We stopped counting after 7, but it looks
there
great.
it is.
I mean, the 7 came very quickly, so let's say we got over 10.
Hey, RJ Elam says he's a Notre Dame fan watching this. He's impressed with the Utah State running game, and he'd like to see Utah State play Notre Dame in the future.
Nice. Nice.
Bet you'd like that.
I would love to see that as well.
I believe you currently are employed by Notre Dame.
That is correct. So I'll see if I can't have a conversation with our athletic
make something
director,
happen.
Yeah,
Jack
make it happen.
Swarbrick, and say, hey, Jack, let's make sure that we get the
Utah State on the schedule.
State on the schedule.
You know,
here,
Notre
please.
Dame's playing my Badgers coming up here pretty soon. Is that next year?
It's next year, yeah. 2019. I'm looking forward to it, sir.
And guys, confirmed we have seen.
Oh, Kristen was saying something, and then she went away, and we've got a big run. It's Hervey. Gets to about the 30-yard line. Check that. It's going to be a little bit inside the 30.
Wonderful run off tackle from Hervey here, but you see the big man up front putting in work for the Aggies. Number 74, Chandler Dolphin, makes an excellent block to give Hervey some space on the outside. And it's like we've got a new quarterback in here too for the Aggies, Andrew Peasley. So many guys getting opportunities to play here.
Now they are over 600 yards in the game.
Wow. I certainly got to be going up against record numbers, at least for the Aggies on offense.
Well, you just ask Josh and he'll tell you.
Josh, please, tell us. We need to know.
What's the most yards in a game
in a
ever?
game that they've ever had, yeah. Because this has been impressive, to say the least. And
Here we go. We got a number. Josh just thought about it for a second, and he just went back in his memory bank. He's like, oh, I was here for that, I'm sure. 6:46. It's in range. We got 8:37 to go.
For sure.
Defense number 45. 15. Correction. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Following the penalty, Utah State field position continues to get better. All right, here we go. Geneva Klaus, I am 89, live next to Tennessee Tech, and my grandson, number 92, just punted for the Aggies. Bam! How you like that? Thank you, Geneva, and keep watching. 89, that's awesome.
Okay, well, here goes another one from Gwen Hudgens. It says A.J. Flemster's 92-year-old grandmother.
Yeah, that's the one Marty was talking about.
That seems to be the mark to beat now, is 92 years old.
Okay, so the over 600 yards is the 12th time in school history. And the record was set against Louisiana Tech from Conference USA November 17th of 2012. And here we go. Hervey's in. Ball's out. Oh, but they say touchdown Aggies before the ball popped out. All right, 70's really in the wheelhouse right now. 65-9.
And the question is, did he cross the line for the end zone? Watch the end of this play here. He's stumbling.
And then the ball comes out. I think he's in.
Well, usually when the ball bounces that way, it could potentially be caused by the ground, so it's hard to see.
It does not appear there's going to be a review.
We're just going to let that go. But wow, 2 plays in a row, Ari. Chandler Dolphin, number 74. Plays 2 kick-out blocks in a row. That's one of those where the coaching staff is going to look back at it, check out the film next week and say, okay, there's an opportunity for Dolphin to get some reps, to start to play for us. We're comfortable putting him in because he competed and played at a high level when he had an opportunity to do so.
I like this from Devin Reeves. He's watching from Alabama, and he says that Nick Saban says, quote, we want Utah State. Well played, Devin. I like that.
Well played for sure.
Scoring summary, 3 plays, 58 yards. 15-yard touchdown run by Justin Hervey. Let's look ahead at what's coming up for Utah State. Things are about to get real. Got Air Force, always tough.
Sure,
at
and it's
BYU,
a different style of offense, too.
Yeah, at BYU is an emotional thing. It's a big deal. Then they got UNLV here at home. We'll have that game for you right here on Facebook. Then at Wyoming, New Mexico at home, and then at Hawaii. Now, I got scolded for a game I did recently where the analyst said, don't use the term winnable games. But all of those games seem like potentially winnable games.
Like you have an opportunity to do so for sure.
At Hawaii might be the toughest of the bunch.
Sure, it depends on how Hawaii kind of plays out. They're certainly playing well through the first few weeks of the season. But I think out of all those Mountain West teams, Utah State certainly can make a case that they've got a more complete team than all of those teams in terms of the 3 different facets. Well, let's take a look at that blocking. I want you to look at Chandler Dolphin, number 74. He's going to be left to the center here. He's number 74. He's going to come out running. Now watch him make this big block on 45. That, to me, is the stuff that sticks out on film where guys get an opportunity to continue to play and to get reps with the first team or the second team when you do stuff like that with game reps. Guarantee you, the offense is going to look at him and say, you know what? Dolphin might deserve an opportunity to get some reps in the play from us. So good thing he's over there getting his water on the sidelines. He deserves it. Well played by the big man up front.
I love a former running back really appreciates it. It's not, you're not just saying it to say it.
It's a good look. And look, I mean, obviously the game's out of reach, so some people would say, okay, well, just pack it in. Don't worry about it. But not Dolphin, no.
Nope.
It is appreciated.
So this is the first time in school history they've scored 60-plus points in back-to-back games.
Offense is rocking and rolling
here. Seeing some history.
Here.
Josh Cunningham will bring it out of the end zone. And Cunningham spins and gets across the 25. Pretty good return.
You know, all right, we talked a lot about the Mountain West and different teams. I want to go to a comment on Facebook here from Carl Winstead. He said, do you see Boise State in the playoff if they can win out? Now,
are you asking me?
He's asking us.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give that a hard no.
A hard no.
A hard no.
Okay, so let's just paint the picture a little bit. If there's a one-loss SEC team, maybe a one-loss team from the Big 12, they are going to get in over Boise State most likely.
I'm not willing to say over a one-loss Big 12. All right, here we go. We get some more points right here. Now close. It'll be first and goal. Put it this way, like a one-loss Alabama team is getting in.
Sure, they're going to get in over an undefeated Boise State team. Okay.
But know this, I would prefer the undefeated Boise State team to get in. I'm just trying to keep expectations realistic.
Sure. So it's probably, and it's unfortunate, but it probably is almost nearly impossible for a group of 5 team to be able to get into the college football playoff.
It could happen. It would be a very unique set of circumstances.
I mean, you probably have to have a lot of teams in the SEC beat each other up, so they need to have multiple losses.
Or you could have a Boise State team or another team in the Mountain West coming off a year where they won a New Year's Day Bowl, and they had a bunch of their guys coming back, and they start the year like number 10. And then some teams fall off, and people are already talking about them from the beginning of the year that they can make it.
Unfortunately, it's got to be a special circumstance.
Real special. That's why you got to increase the field. 4 is not enough. And give the group of 5 a chance.
Give them a shot. Aggies certainly making a case that Mountain West is a strong conference for offenses, putting up 72 points now, so they have surpassed
the all-time school record. 72 points.
Record with 72 points as it stands right now. A career night.
Now, while this is fun, I did have a debate recently about if there should be a mercy rule and what that number should be. And I thought 50-point spread in the second half. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. Enough can be enough. But people want to be entertained. Here's 74 doing it again for you, Darius.
Let's check out Dolphin. Look at him taking up 2 different guys. I mean, 2 different guys on the inside, blocking through the whistle. That's an impressive offensive lineman there.
All right, let's keep talking playoff. Out of these teams in the AP Top 10, Saturday's matchups, who do you think of these schools is going to be in the Final Four?
Well, I certainly have a personal bias at number 8. So leaving out my personal bias, I would like to say that, you know, certainly Alabama has a really good shot of running the table and being in the playoff again. That's pretty obvious. So does Clemson. But to me, a team that can come up if they play really well, I think Wisconsin's certainly got a shot to do it. They certainly have a shot to do it. They have a really good running game, as they do every year. That offensive line is stout.
They have a favorable schedule,
Favorable schedule the rest of the season. I think they're a team that can come up and put themselves in position to be able to get into the playoffs. But Notre Dame, by far. Got to show love for the Irish.
All right, we were wrong. 6 times in history, Utah State has scored 70-plus points. The most ever was in 1919 against Idaho State. They won 136-0.
Oh, okay, so then that's not.
No record has been set.
That is certainly out of reach here today.
I'm not sure if that should even count. That's absurd. Did the other team have 11 players? I mean, wow, 136 to nothing.
You talk about a mercy rule.
Yeah.
I think when you put 100 points in football, the game's
a
over.
wrap.
Yeah, the game's over. There's no running clock. There's none of that. It's done.
Hey, man, you got to sell concessions. You got to sell merchandise. Keep the people in the building. All right, 1st and 10 for the Golden Eagles. DJ Worthy is now in at running back, but it's quarterback keeper there for Luke Ward.
Well, I think Dwayne Alexander is certainly trying to get this program back to what it was. When you look at their staff and the staff he's really put together, Ari, for this Golden Eagles team, it's a lot of former players, a lot of guys that have experience as players with the Golden Eagles, so they have that passion and that connection. They've just got to figure out a way to really put it together.
I feel like it's happening all across America, where you see so many more alumni on the staffs of their alma mater.
Sure.
It's a pride thing, it's a family thing, like it's in your DNA. And you want to come back and do it. I mean, Jeff Tedford is a great example. I mean, he could have coached a lot of places.
Exactly.
He says this is his last head coaching job.
Yeah, he's not.
He's going to finish it at Fresno State.
His career there, and it's important because it's really got to mean something to you. So certainly means a lot more, and there's certainly a higher level of connection with a university when you were a former student athlete.
And look, you're not necessarily affiliated with the football program at Notre Dame, but you now work as an employee of the university after having played there. I think it's great because it matters to you.
It does, yeah. No, it means something for sure.
Telling you, look at the speed.
Showing some speed
tiptoeing on the sideline.
It was a nice job from Luke Ward there. I like the hesitation, too, off the line to give himself a little bit of space on the outside. Now, the one thing I will say is that he's got to put that ball in the other hand.
Yep.
You know, running rules here when you have the ball. You always want on that outside shoulder, but nice work so far for Luke Ward. And I think if you're, let's be frank, if you're Dwayne Alexander and you're looking at next week, I would not be surprised if he starts with Luke.
Yeah.
If Luke is the starter for the game next week. Would not be surprised.
I got something for you. Josh McClellan says, my 154-year-old great-great-grandfather is watching from above. Well done, John.
Yeah, well done.
That's going to be tough to beat.
Taking another look at Dwayne Alexander. He was so passionate at halftime, too. You could tell that it really hurt him to the core that the team wasn't playing as well.
Hey guys, interesting comment here from Becky. You guys were talking about the mercy rule. She says no mercy rule because the backups would never get to play if there was. What do you think about that?
Well, that's fine up until the 50 points. They can still play.
At some point, where does it cut off is really the question.
Hey, look, for people who don't understand, like Tennessee Tech comes out here and goes home with a big check. I mean, there's something in it for them, too. They get reps against a better football team than they're going to see in the Ohio Valley. They have a chance to improve, and they go home with a nice big check that helps fund the rest of the athletic department. So there's a lot more to it than, we're kind of clowning about it, but it's important for these programs to get money to be able to facilitate their other sports.
And guys, I got to say, I got to say, talking to Coach Alexander at the half, I was ready to suit up for him. I mean, he had me fired up, and it was, they were down quite a bit at the half, and to listen to him talk, I had a lot of respect for him after.
Yeah, he said it was 0-0. And, when you compare the halves, they have been better in the second half than they were in the first half.
Well, when you think about programs across the country, too, we've touched a little bit on the stadium renovations that we have here with the Aggies. These smaller programs don't have the resources and the funds to be able to do that sort of stuff. So they really rely a lot on some of these big matchups where, unfortunately, a lot of times they get beat up. And, it becomes a huge lopsided game. But without that game during the season, it's hard for some of these programs to fund the travel that it takes for their teams to be able to get to the games. So it certainly goes a long way to helping the program move forward. But let's take a quick look at the upcoming schedule for the Golden Eagles. Got Jacksonville State coming up in Eastern Illinois. All the way down to Murray State in November. But you can tell from the schedule here, Ari, the travel certainly looks a lot different than coming all the way out to Utah to play the Aggies.
You hear the fans still chanting, "Let's go Aggies."
They are still here.
Ward the handoff. It's Gist. He tries to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Gist is another one of those true freshmen that's getting an opportunity to play late in this game. Former track athlete himself, so he's got some speed too.
Little less than 3 minutes to go in this one. 73-9 our score. Ward gets it out in the flat to Gist. And he's well short of the fourth down. Or excuse me, of the first down. It brings up fourth down.
And again, I don't want to keep hammering this point home, Ari, but it just strikes me when you have opportunities for learning moments for your team when the game is out of reach. It's fourth down, you're on the other side of the field. Obviously, there's no way to get back into this game. Try something. Try something here. Try that trick play that's way down in the playbook that you never thought you'd get the opportunity to run in a real game. Try it now. Just feel like these are missed learning opportunities for the Golden Eagles.
Well, you can drill 45-yard field goals like it's a chip shot.
That's great, but it just is not helping your team move the needle in terms of
what about if they
figuring
need
out
a key 45-yard field goal in a conference game?
He's got plenty of opportunities to kick those in practice for sure. I'm just saying, you don't get opportunities to run the crazy trick play in practice.
All right.
But
here's Darwin Thompson. This guy was my choice for the Facebook player of the game.
He certainly had that big 64-yard run, but you see him getting involved in the passing game in the screenplay. But here goes another one of those big runs that he had on the outside. Look at that speed, using that stiff arm to get down. So many big runs for him. He only had to carry the ball 6 times.
I mean,
to
if
go
you
over
average 17.8 yards per carry, I mean, shouldn't that get you the player of the game?
That's a big deal. Not to mention all those 500-pound squats, right?
Here we go.
That
here
he
it
was
is.
doing.
560 pounds.
Looked easy.
No big deal.
And walked it back up there, too.
Normally guys do that, they're like shaking and like their body's gonna just give in.
Well, that too, plus they also have people on the side who are spotting them.
They were all
he's done that so many times, he didn't have a spotter for it. It's impressive.
Yeah.
I love the Scotsman. Up late, watching those Aggies. What a close game, yeah.
Us humans aren't the only ones interested in the TTU versus USU game. The cat keeps trying to catch the ball. I'd like to see the cat skills. Oh, block man blue. That's cute. That's cute right there.
The selfie, always appreciated.
Look at Big Blue. Guys, he rode in on a motorcycle the other day on Saturday's game. It was awesome.
I mean, how does he see in that costume? What do you mean driving a motorcycle?
Oh, he was on the back, but
okay.
you know.
I was about to say that's pretty dangerous for him.
He might have been on a little bit of a scooter. Now that I think about it, he might have been driving. To get some confirmation on that. So.
Yeah, and I think you might want to talk to the DMV. I don't know if that's allowed.
Could you imagine?
Hey, it was awesome.
Like, no, I like it. I'm just not sure it's legal.
In the costume.
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically, if there was a helmet rule, he'd be wearing.
Wow. That's where we are at 73-12. return out to the 23. We have more college football coming your way on Saturday. UAB hosts Tulane. That stadium production can be seen at 1 p.m. on Facebook. Then, how about this? Lane Kiffin and the FAU Owls host Bethune-Cookman. You can catch that game on Stadium Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
You'll be there, right?
I will be there. So will Chris and so will our whole crew. The only 24/7 network available on both television and digital devices without a cable subscription. Stadium, welcome to the game. All of us are getting up real early tomorrow. 6 a.m. flight out of Salt Lake City.
Those are always fun.
Oh, yeah, the real hoot.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Just FYI, guys, Big Blue does drive in the mini motorcycle by himself, courtesy of Lauren Clark in the comments and Skylar Clements. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Not sure how I feel about that. But
I liked it. I was a little jealous.
I like it. I just want to like be in the costume and see how well he can see,
Yeah.
or she, for that matter. All right, here we go. 3 weeks old. It's the final Instagram photo of the night. That's a great way to end it. Thanks, Jody.
And congratulations on the little one.
Victory formation, everybody's favorite play call. Well, Darius, what'd you learn tonight about the Utah State Aggies?
More of the same, to be honest. Though, over the past 2 weeks, you know, we've seen them play well in 3 different facets, and they proved again that they can do that. But what I'm most impressed with is just taking care of business when you're supposed to take care of business. There's this idea in football, especially, that coaches always talk about is we need to win the games that we're supposed to win, and we need to win those by a large margin. Well, if you look at the last 2 weeks, Mexico State, today, against Tennessee Tech, they've taken care of business and really won those games in the fashion that they sort of expected and wanted to. So that, to me, are the makings of a really good team, and a team that's got a chance to really do some damage in the Mountain West. They've got a quarterback who's looked really good. He only played the first half. He was impressive, that offensive line, all the way down to Dolphin at the end, their 3rd and 4th string tackle.
You love that
he looked
guy.
good. Just to say that they've got a lot of things that are going well for them and that are really working for them on all facets of the game. They only gave up 12 points too. It's good stuff.
It's a nice little recap, man. You're a real pro. I'll work with you anytime, anywhere. And the fact that you're this good a guy and you went to Notre Dame is really makes you just extra special.
Well, listen,
I'm just jealous, you know. You guys are good, that's all. All right, let's go to Kristen.
We got Coach right here coming in. He's greeting everybody. He's going to head right over to us. Coach, 73-12. I know you got it done on all 3 phases, as you like to say. What stood out to the most to you about this team's performance tonight?
Really just our attitude all week, and I thought our guys prepared at a high level, and just proud of them for trying to keep the standard up and understand how we prepare and what we do was the most important thing this week.
3 very strong non-conference games from your guys. What have you learned about them as you head into the Mountain West schedule?
Well, I think we have a good team. You know, it's a challenging conference schedule starting next week with Air Force, and we understand that. And those games usually come down to the wire, so I think this bunch is ready for that challenge.
I know you love playing in front of this home crowd and these fans, and you got tons of fans watching on Facebook tonight. What do you want to say to everybody that supports you?
I appreciate all the support on Facebook and the guys that came out and the ladies that came out, but next Saturday night we need to sell this thing out.
All right, you heard them, guys. Coach, thank you so much. Congrats on the win. Guys, back up to you.
All right, thank you very much, Kristen, and thanks to Coach Wells. Really enjoyed meeting with him this week. He's just always a pleasure. He's got great enthusiasm. Big thanks to our entire Facebook and Stadium crew for all their hard work this week. On behalf of Kristen Balboni and Darius Walker, I am Ari Wolf saying so long from Maverick Stadium in Logan, Utah. We had a great time. Make sure to check out the college football on Facebook this Saturday. Take care, everybody.